There's a lot of temptation, but the way I see it now is like, I wouldn't even entertain anything that I don't think would lead to marriage. That's the way I see it. Like, if I see someone who's obviously like, there's temptation, if I don't see myself with that person married, which is like maybe 95, 97% of the cases, then I wouldn't entertain it.
The more you learn about what a woman is, the more you understand consciousness, what a woman's role is on this earth, not from just a sexualized standpoint, but from an energetic standpoint, from the purpose that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put them on this earth. You start to look at them like, you know what? I would rather light myself on fire than be with a woman that's not my wife. I would rather quite literally get shot in the head. You know what? There's a hadith on this, right? You should rather hit yourself in the head with a nail, touch a woman who's not permissible to you. It's quite literal hadith, and you know what? It makes a lot of sense.
Before the audience, the business, and the success, Hussein was simply a young man trying to change his life. Through years of discipline and consistency, he built one of the largest fitness presence online. Joined by Shahrez Hayder on the path we choose, this conversation explores faith, purpose, self-improvement, and the journey of becoming a better man. Hussein, what path did you choose?
What path I chose? I chose the bodybuilding path, getting people in shape, helping people achieve the best version of themselves. Yeah, that's pretty much what I did.
How'd you end up here?
That's a good question.
You were a pizza guy and then a banker, and now you're the bodybuilder guy.
Yeah, so I started like working when I was like 15, 16. First job I had was a pizza place. I kind of documented like a lot of it now on my Instagram. But yeah, I started working at a pizza place. Then I moved over to banking throughout school. Then, obviously CJEP here in Montreal. And then I did university. And honestly, the first, I guess, in my opinion, I always say I was dead until I was 19. Reason is, the gym was the first time I would put effort into something and actually get the results that I wanted. Like, I would go to school, I didn't want to really do it, but I just did it because people told me to do it. Same thing for my job. Like, I didn't feel like I was working towards something. Going to the gym, first time in my whole life that I actually put effort and I get the exact results that I wanted. So yeah, I think the gym pretty much like created my whole life now, yeah.
So we have Shahrez here with us as well. Both of them are complete contradictions of each other. The content is very different. What I really wanted to do with this conversation was I wanted to show people that regardless of what they choose to do in their lives, they can get to whatever their desired outcome is. Shahrez makes content for Muslims. He's kind of a contemporary Muslim philosopher at this point in time, whereas you are a fitness influencer that has literally taken over the world. Like, what the funniest thing is, I brought up that Greg Doucette thing. I know so much about him from like 8 months ago, and I've never followed him. Like, I have no interest in fitness things, but he's everywhere, mashallah. It's amazing. But it goes to show that you can literally do whatever it is that you put your mind to. So I want to really break down everything that you guys have achieved in your lives, but not just on the surface level. Like, we see the RM, we see the McLaren outside, we see everything that you've achieved. We've seen the millions the both of you have made before the age of 23, both of you. But the work behind that, that's what people don't see.
Yeah.
Right? So I really want to start off with the question, when you guys became a millionaire, you were 21, you were 22, what do you think people immediately misunderstood about your journey?
I would say that it's easy. That's number one. That I kind of cheated as well because of the whole fake Natty accusations and stuff. They think I was lying about my transformation, and that's also why it was easy. So a lot of people don't understand like the work it takes behind the scenes. I could have went viral, like you said. I could have been famous. I could have got the millions of views and not made a single penny. And the reason why I made money is because I put myself in positions to make that money. I had to learn business. I had to learn how to monetize the audience that I had. So a lot of people think it's just, you get views and you make money, when it's like, I could have had all these views and not made the money that I made. I think it's just my business mindset, I guess, that got me to be able to monetize it that much.
Yeah. Shahrez, same thing for you. When you were 21, what did people misunderstand? Because I know I'm sure you're even like your family members and your close friends, everybody misunderstands how you got so rich all of a sudden, right? And everybody automatically assumes it was something negative or you were doing something wrong. But what was your experience like?
Well, bro, for me, it was already done. I was a millionaire in my mind before I became a millionaire in real life. I'm sure you could relate to that, right? For me, it was the thoughts of failure didn't even enter my consciousness. The thought of me not becoming a millionaire and not being successful didn't even enter my reality. Like, let's say this is my consciousness right here. Failure would be like right here, completely out of the premises, right? And that's the reality for a lot of people, is they don't have that level of consciousness, right? We talked about the 4 stages of learning with Muhammad, right? I mean, we talked about the 4 stages of consciousness and the 4 stages of learning. But when we talk about the 4 stages of learning, the first step is unconscious incompetence. People don't know that they don't know, right? So, like, for example, when you make your millions, or when you build the physique that you did, Allah Mubarak, amazing physique, right? Or I made my millions, or I built an Instagram channel, to 226,000 in under a year, right? People are like, how? You must have cheated. You must be a grifter or fake Natty. But in reality, they just don't know what they don't know. They don't even register in their own mind that it's possible. I remember I was on a plane one time, and it was just a regular flight. I wasn't flying first class Etihad, bro. I was American Airlines business class. And interestingly enough, there was another woman in business class. I get on the plane with a trophy with my cousin, all right? And it wasn't my trophy, all right? At the time, my cousin had just made his first $1 million month. And it's a huge trophy, it's like this big, all right? We're on the plane with the trophy. We're both sitting business class, just chilling, by the way. And then the woman looks at it. She's with some kid, okay? And she's like, what's the trophy for? My cousin looks at her and says, read the trophy. And she's like, $1 million in a month? You guys must sell drugs? Or what are you, like, pimps? And my cousin looks at her and she's like, we just work really hard. That's all it is. In our consciousness, we know it's possible. We're not unaware to the fact that this reality doesn't even exist. We're aware to the fact that the reality exists. And we're aware to the fact that we can have it too. I don't see a difference between me and the billionaire. I don't see a difference between me and another influencer, philosopher, or author, or whatever it is. I'm sure you don't either, right? Why not us, right?
I agree. I agree to some extent. I'll be honest, bro. Before I was 19, I didn't believe anything that I really had those doubts. Failure was in my consciousness, I'll be honest. But now I've just seen it so many times where I've succeeded. I've achieved, numbers that I never thought I would be able to. And I still kind of reflect on it. I'm like, is this actually real? Do I actually I got this? Honestly, I'm kind of numb to it at this point. But if I was to look at where I'm at right now 2 years ago, I wouldn't believe it. So I do agree with you. I'm in a position now where obviously I've done it, so I have to believe in it. But I didn't have this belief before I started. It was really just put in effort, get result, put in effort, get result. So that's why I said when I got in the gym and I saw the progress, that was the first time in my life it was oh, okay, this is actually doable. Effort actually gives results. So yeah, but I do agree. If you've never seen it or been exposed to it, it's hard to truly believe in it. So that's how I did it.
Where was the flip for you? You said 19, you didn't even believe it. Okay, we're talking about consciousness.
Yeah.
Failure existed in that conversation for you.
100%.
Right? So where was it finally you know what? I can actually do this.
I would say my first sale online, when I made my first dollar online, because I would say the gym was the first step. First step was, putting in effort. Okay, I see this transformation. In 3 months, bro, I gained a lot of weight. It was crazy. People around me wouldn't believe it. Oh, what are you taking? So that was the first step. Okay, I can actually put effort into something, get the result that I want. And the second step when it comes to monetary and being able to generate a lot of money online was my first sale. I was doing fitness coaching. I had I think it was a month into Instagram. I started posting on Instagram. In a month, I grew to 60K followers in just 1 month. And then for me, it didn't mean much because it didn't change my life as much as making money online did. But as soon as I made my first sale, it was my first day of doing online coaching. I had a bunch of sales calls. The last one, I had 16 of them. The last one, I was able to close.
Wow.
And I quit my job and left school after the first sale.
Shahrez, 16 calls until you got a yes.
Yeah.
But most people stop by the 10th call.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? If I have a whole day of 16 calls and I get 10 no's, 10 people abusing me and telling me to F off, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this anymore. Right? But that's what it is. Everybody says you got lucky. The woman in the plane, she says, no, you guys are, you're drug dealers. You're lucky. You're right. You're doing things that aren't accepted by society.
No.
To you, everybody says a natty thing. And even other than you not being natty, everybody has an assumption. But was there luck involved? Do you think you got lucky?
I wouldn't say it was luck. I think the reason why I stayed after those 16 calls was because of the reinforcement of I can put effort, get results from the gym. So I was I'll end up getting a sale for sure. I truly believed in the fact I was going to get the sale because I knew effort was going to get me to where I wanted to, like it did with the gym. I would say, I guess there is maybe some luck involved, but when you're putting in reps, like someone maybe putting in 10 reps is going to be like, oh, look at him, he's lucky, but they don't realize you put in 10,000 reps when they only, like maybe there's luck involved, but like I put so much volume into it that maybe my luck was like after 50 times what they were able to put in as volume.
Yeah.
So sure, maybe there's luck.
There's another common denominator besides the fact that, you know, we both became millionaires around like the same time, right? Besides that fact, you're an athlete, and I'm an athlete. My sport is basketball, your sport's bodybuilding, right? Bodybuilding? Okay, so there is something special about being an athlete. And I've seen that a lot of the people who I've worked with, clients, business partners, JVs, whatever it is, who have been extremely successful have also been athletes. So when you say that, something just registered. What do you think that is?
I think it's the fact that you can't discourage yourself when you don't have the income, the outcome that you want. For example, I'm sure basketball, bro, when you miss a shot, you're not like, oh, I suck. You just like, okay, that was a shot that I missed. On to the next. I'm going to keep shooting. Like if you get in your own head and you're like, I'm the one. It's the same thing with content, bro. If you're in your own head and you're like, oh, I suck, my content didn't work, instead of seeing it like, oh, this piece of content didn't work, but I'm great, I'll make it happen, I'll make it work eventually. That's the mindset you need. And I think being an athlete, you kind of get into the rhythm or like the mindset of like, okay, it didn't work out, it's not my fault, it's just this shot or this this show that I didn't go in my favor. You don't like doubt yourself as an athlete, you just doubt the result that you got that day. If it was the day after, maybe you would have won the game or made the shot. So I think it's just a matter of like, you don't doubt yourself when something doesn't go your way as an athlete.
It's very interesting that you say that, because one thing I'm known for in basketball is my ability to shoot. I can shoot the heck out of the rock. And people always ask me why I'm such a good shooter. And the main reason for that is because I have such a short memory. I'm like, I think about the last shot I missed. I think about the next shot I'm about to make.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So what you said is really facts, bro. Should I answer that question as well?
Please.
The luck one? I do believe that risk is written, right? We're both Muslim, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is...
Three of us.
Yeah, all of us. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Razaq, right? He's the provider of risk. So risk is written, but what I also believe is that free will is how you summon the risk, right? For example, if your risk is written, how I like to articulate it is like, okay, this reality exists, this reality exists, this reality exists, this reality exists. These are all a part of qadr. It's like a buffet, all right? But through free will, the doors and the choices that you make, the mindset that you hold, the actions that you ultimately take. So for example, we talked about this in Muhammad's podcast as well, is if we're looking at the trifecta of how to manifest is muraqabah, which is presence. You have to be present. You have to be aware, right? When you're in the gym, you're aware. Or should I continue, pushing till this next rep? Do I have another one in me? Right? And then you have taqwa. You're aware of God. All right? Like for example, you could make a decision that's completely out of alignment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It could be, for example, let's say it's a business deal. Let's say it's your fitness coaching business.
Yeah.
Right? It could be, let me teach you how to make these big muscles so you can go date girls and go do haram activities. Yeah. Right? But you're not doing it that way. You have taqwa. And that's why Allah is blessing you, is because you're taking Allah's path where you're helping people become better men. Yeah. And then on top of that, I've seen you give money to your mother and help out your sister and put other people on, right? So you're doing things for the sake of Allah, right? Whether you know it or not, right? That's taqwa. And then there's tawakkul, which is the courage to walk through the door. So muraqabah, the presence, shows you the doors. You can have all these possibilities in life. I could take this path, this path, this path, this path. And then taqwa, let me identify the path of Allah. How am I doing this for the sake of Allah? Like for example, bro, one thing I'm really proud of, the fact that you got the McLaren and the RM, is now people know that the Ummah, we're successful because we have Allah.
100%.
Right?
100%.
That's why I got the rollie on my wrist too. That's why I like to show the success too, is because, like, this is all from Allah. When you tap in with the source, you can have anything you want, right? Quite literally. And then you have these doors presented to you. Tawakkul is the courage to walk through the door, right? So yes, I believe that the luck isn't really what we perceive to be luck. It's the possibilities that Allah has given us. But it's the risk that's written, but we just have to tap in. We just have to find the doors, identify which door serves the dunya and the akhirah, and then, bro, have the courage to walk through. Like, take those sales calls, like, post the content. Yeah. Like, reassure your clients. I'm sure there's a lot of clients of yours that are like, man, like, I don't know if I could do this, bro.
Always, yeah. That's my job. I gotta, 100%.
But then
No, I
even
agree.
based on what he said, Hussein, do you think having the right values and having that strong relationship with God actually makes a difference?
Absolutely. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have it. And I'll be honest, like I've been to, like, obviously I think my industry is probably the one where like it's so easy to get off your path or like get tempted by different things. I'll be honest, bro, like even if I was to be as successful with let's say like a different mindset or like I wasn't on my deen as much, I know I wouldn't truly feel fulfilled or truly feel happy. I know there's a lot of money to be made regardless, like obviously. But I know for a fact because I've had temptations. I haven't been on my deen like always. I'll be totally honest. But I've never felt this fulfilled in my life when I was on my deen and I was doing the proper things that I wanted to do, taking care of my family, praying every single day, being consistent, with everything that I need to do. So yes, I do think I wouldn't be here today because obviously like the way I see it, when I pray, I recommend every single person that wants to be more disciplined. For example, when I first started, it wasn't even like, oh, I want to do this for akhira or like whatever. It was just, this is a form of discipline. I'll just do it because, I'm going to pray 5 times a day and I'll just see it as a form of discipline. And this translates into everything else that you're doing, bro, like your work, especially now, like, with the fame, with the money, there's temptation that comes in. And like, that's the only thing keeping me consistent with everything, because if I was to tap into that temptation, it would take me off my work. It would take me off my content, my business. So yes, I truly believe it does.
Yeah. And you even mentioned, I think in one of your videos, you said you're saving yourself for marriage, like you're staying away from women. But given the career that you have and mashallah, the good looks that you have, it's probably very hard.
It is, I'll be honest, but like the way I see it, there's a lot of like I won't even lie, bro. There's a lot of temptation, but the way I see it now is like I wouldn't even entertain anything that I don't think would lead to marriage. Like that's the way I see it. Like if I see someone who's obviously like, there's temptation, if I don't see myself with that person, married, which is like maybe 97% of the cases, then I wouldn't entertain it. I just, and then I think it just comes in from my discipline with work. I think the only reason also, I don't think I've said this on a podcast before, but the reason why I am here is because like lust when I was younger was a big thing, and like it was controlling it, stopping from doing the, all of the things that are related to lust that got me to be consistent with my content, got me to do what I'm doing now. Even the gym, getting in the gym was stopping all of those things and actually focusing on something else. So yes, I do think like staying away from those is what got me here.
Let's talk about lust a little bit, because I think that's a really, really big topic for your audience and my audience. I actually recently created a video, how I mastered my lust, because I'll be real, I don't believe lust was a huge, huge issue for me, right? But it was an issue for me, and it is an issue for a lot of men, right? Do you have a specific question about lust?
No, because I watched that video of yours and I know how detailed it was, but I'd like you to kind of compliment what he said, because again, you have the exact same problem he has, which is you're also a very good looking guy and you have a very big audience. So the both of you, I know, have the same temptation, and you've also said basically the same thing he said, where it's, I won't entertain it unless it leads to something.
100%.
So, but why? Like this is what I don't understand. I understand because I'm Muslim, but 90% of the people watching this will not understand, because to them, yes, it's discipline. Yes, it's they're letting me focus on my work. But there's always that but, right? But, the girl's after me. But, in school, I have a crush on this girl.
Yeah.
Like, what does that 15, 16-year-old do, man?
Well, bro, you guys got to realize it's just a woman, right? Like the reason why lust exists is because we pedestalize women, right? We don't understand what a woman is, and therefore you are obsessed with the unknown, right? The grass is always greener on the other side. You want to know what's on the other side of the fence, right? You want to know what a woman is like, what pleasing a woman is like, what it's like to be pleased by a woman, right? Everybody talks about it. Netflix, all these TV shows, they psyop us to want this, right? From a young age, even if you watch dramas or movies or whatever it is, that's exactly what they've shown us, right? They've put lust and romanticism on a pedestal, right? So for me, conquering my lust was just taking this pedestal of what a woman is and taking the unknown to the known. The more you learn about what a woman is, the more you understand consciousness, what a woman's role is on this earth, not from just a sexualized standpoint, but from an energetic standpoint, from the purpose that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put them on this earth. You start to look at them and like, you know what? I would rather light myself on fire than be with a woman that's not my wife. I would rather quite literally get shot in the head. And you know what? There's a hadith on this, right? I would rather, you should rather hit yourself in the head with a nail and touch a woman who's not permissible to you, right? It's a quite literal hadith, and you know what? It makes a lot of sense, right? So I know I talked about that video in detail, right? If anybody really wants to watch that video, they can go watch that video. But I also think that, for the 15, 16-year-olds who are blowing their life force, right? That life force energy is sacred energy. That's energy that could create a child, a life, right? That's why it's called life force, right? And when you're able to control that and maintain that and let that energy stay within instead of out, there's a lot of power that comes with that.
Absolutely.
Right? For me, since the audience is mostly male, I haven't life forced in almost 2 years. I just don't feel the need to, unless I'm creating a baby. There's just no need to. My consciousness just doesn't allow it. It just doesn't register here. Just like the failure just doesn't register here. Because when you hold a certain identity, right? I identify as this person. It just doesn't align. It can't enter, right? And then as a byproduct with that identity, so for example, I'll talk about the identity. The identity, I hold multiple different identities. I hold Shahrez Muslim, which is my Muslim identity. Billionaire Shahrez, which is my business identity. I have Super Mentor Shahrez, which is a new one I created. It kind of bridges the two because I was actually facing an identity crisis after I created Billionaire Shahrez. It was taking over me like venom, bro. I couldn't get back to Shahrez Muslim. So Super Mentor kind of just bridged it. And then I have my basketball identity, which is the Sixth Sniper, right? But a part of all these identities is one thing. I'm not a lustful man. I just don't entertain that. It's just not a part of my reality. And because it's not a part of my reality, therefore I just don't do it, right? And then as a byproduct, it fuels these identities to have the success that these identities are going to achieve, right? Like people will ask me, like, how'd you grow Shahrez Muslim so fast? 225,000 followers in a year. People thought I was doing it for 10. You thought I was doing it for a decade. You said that in our first podcast. You're like, I thought you've been doing this for a decade. No. Bro, it's because all that energy that could have left my body, it doesn't. It goes into my work. It goes into my purpose. Yeah. And on the podcast with Saad, right? You did the collab with Saad as well, the Pahul guy in Montreal. We talked about something so special. It's like when you truly, truly, truly have purpose and a mission, you don't get tired. You don't get tired. You don't wake up thinking, oh, what am I going to do? You wake up with a drive, with an energy. It's hard to go to sleep. Bro, is it hard for you to go to sleep?
It is.
Bro, I got like bags. I'm starting to wear those like eye patch things. And I'm like, damn, like, I'm like turning into... I should be on Cosmopolitan. I did get on the Cosmopolitan. But the point is like, I'm wearing this because I'm trying to still maintain my image, even though I'm not sleeping, man. Because I just can't. Every single night, bro, I'm thinking, man, I'm excited to wake up tomorrow and pursue this mission again.
Yeah.
Because there's no energy leaving my body. And that's the issue is a lot of young men or older men or whatever it is, they'll lay in bed alone at night because they're bored. Put something on their phone, blow the life force, and now they wake up in a bad mood because the way you go to sleep is the way you're going to wake up, right? The energy just transfers. But I go to sleep thinking about my goals, thinking about the next day. That's why I wake up supercharged, like, yeah, let's run it, let's get it, right? So for me, lust is a big thing. For men, we got to conquer it. Not only for men, if there's a woman watches, even for women, right? There's a lot of women who are lustful. You probably see that in your DMs. I see it in my DMs. They're kind of crazy, all right? They got to control their lust too. And the only way you do that is you got to tap in with Allah. Tap in with Allah. Tap into the consciousness. You understand how the world works. You create an identity for yourself. You're living.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think identity is huge, bro. I teach this a lot in my mentorship, like when I'm with clients. Like if you see yourself as someone who makes a specific amount of money, like you said before, like that's one thing, honestly, I didn't have. Like I just built it over time. But like if you're able to actually build that identity before you even get there, and like, for example, I'm someone who makes this amount a month. I'm someone who doesn't do those things. I'm someone who trains every day. Then and you actually believe that you're that identity, like you're not going to accept anything less. So like a lot of people are like, oh, how do I get to this specific amount of money? Believe that you're already making it and you won't accept less than that amount of money. Or like, how can I become someone who's actually disciplined with the gym? Well, we already are. You got to believe that you already are, and you will be at some point, like over time, over repetition. So I do agree with the identity thing. I think it's really important for a lot of young men.
Hussein, have you seen, and you as well, right? Umer and Hussein both. Have you guys seen Spider-Man 1, the Peter Parker,
of course.
Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
All right. So I was talking to one of my mentees, one of my students, about identities. All right. And I'm like, this is how we're going to build your identity. The first thing is you got to pick what you want. Think about it. How are you supposed to frame an identity if you don't even know what you want out of life?
Yeah.
Right? Somewhere deep inside your heart, you're like, you know what? I want to be this mentor. I want to be built like a superhero, right? I want to have this online persona. I want to provide for my family, right? And all the other stuff you do, like driving the McLaren or having the watch, you wanted these things. But you see, these things that you want, on the other side of the parallel, there's an identity that you have to hold in order to actually maintain that.
Yeah.
Right? So I say to my mentee, I'm like, you know what, define what you want. But after you define what you want out of life, you remember when Peter Parker is like picking the spider and then he's drawing the suit and he's really making it?
Yeah.
You gotta craft your superhero, you gotta craft your character. All right. And a lot of kids nowadays, they call it LARPing, which, to be honest, there's a big difference between being a Fugazi and LARPing, right? You got to pick that identity, and it's like as if you are a superhero, a character in a movie. You step into it, and it's not faking it. What you got to do is you got to act as if you are that person, like you said. Like, for example, the highest version of you wouldn't charge anything less than a certain price.
Yeah.
The highest version of you wouldn't show up anything else but a certain standard, right? Like, for example, we were having lunch earlier today. And it was a nicer spot, right? It was a pretty nice spot, wasn't it? Yeah. I was still eating with my hands. He's like, you always eat with your hands. I'm like, yeah. I don't care. I don't care if I'm at a 5-star restaurant. This is the identity that I hold. It's just what I do, right? And I'm unapologetic about it, bro. If somebody has a problem with it, go kick rocks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go with the flow. I am the flow, right? And this is the main thing, is that you have to be able to hold that identity strong, right? Even to the point where everything in life, when you hold an identity, you're not chasing anything anymore.
It's coming to you.
It's coming to you. You're summoning it, right? And you probably experienced that. Somehow the opportunities come to you. You were on fresh and fit, right?
Yeah.
And I mean that podcast was, whatever.
Questionable.
I mean, bro, they completely caught you off guard. I know that you didn't want it like that, right? Yeah. But now it's like Allah throw you another lifeline. It's like, you know what? This is a conversation where we can actually talk about the deep things. And that's why I'm excited to talk to you, because, bro, I know you're such a deep individual. It gets deeper than the muscles, bro.
100%, yeah. No, I agree. That is true. I think, like, going back to everything you said, I think really, like, again, identity is everything. Like, you can literally, and even if you do achieve the success, but you don't feel like you deserve it, you don't feel good with it. Like, that's the one thing. Like, again, because I've had times, obviously, where I've, like, doubted, where I didn't feel like, okay, like, this is something that I deserve to have. Even if you get the success, but you don't feel like you're the person who can create the success again, or someone who deserves the success, you will start doubting yourself. You won't feel exactly the way you're supposed to feel with the success. So I do agree. I think identity is everything. 100%.
I think with that identity, though, you need to make sacrifices.
Of course.
Like we were talking about sacrificing your lust, right? And you've made lots of sacrifices throughout your life. The one thing that I know a lot of people will want to ask you guys is, social media, especially when you're starting out, is really embarrassing. Like, it is the most cringe thing you can do. You know your friends are going to see it. You know how they're going to react and stuff, right? But what was that experience like? How did you overcome those obstacles of, okay, I don't really care what people think. I'm doing this for myself.
Yeah, it didn't cross my mind, to be honest. The way I was seeing it, and I tell this to every single client that I have, is like, who's judging you? All right, let's say you have someone in mind who's going to judge you. It could be your family. It could be someone in the gym. I was recording in the gym, so it could be someone in the gym. My thing was, do you want to be like these people? Answer 99% of the time is no. And the only people that are going to judge you are people that you don't want to be like. You know, I'm never going to judge someone for making a video. I'm never going to judge someone for starting a business. So if someone is judging you, it's most likely someone who hasn't been through it. So do you want to be like these people? The answer is 99% of the time no. So why would you even care? So yeah, like, I would honestly be like, if they're judging me, I'm doing something right because they haven't been through the path that I'm trying to go for. So yeah, it didn't even cross my mind, to be honest.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah.
Even before I started posting, I was like, there was a huge fear of what people would think.
Yeah, no, I was just seeing it, like, even the gym, when I started gym, what are you training for? It's like, I don't want to be like these people. So if they're doubting me, it means I'm doing the right thing. And that was the same thing for content.
In a world where everyone's chasing growth, I'm always interested in something deeper. What kind of person builds something that genuinely serves people? At first glance, Ketkoot looks like a good restaurant.
When I started Ketkoot, I wasn't thinking about opening up a restaurant. I was thinking about building something that people can trust, something that creates opportunities for families, serves communities, and reflects excellence in everything we do.
Order for Shahrez. Order for Shahrez.
So Karar, what's your dream?
To build one of the most respected restaurants in the world.
How many locations are we talking?
A little ambitious, about 1,000 locations.
Well, if you believe you can, but if you believe you can't, both times you're right.
That's a true statement, and I believe I can.
The thing that stood out to me wasn't the number, it was the reason behind it. Because when people build with sincerity, excellence, and service at the center, growth becomes a byproduct. Is that the same approach? I'll get to you about the approach you have to hate as well, because I know you have a lot of people.
I'm about to tell you a crazy story.
Making things up.
Finish up because my crazy story might take 2-3 minutes. Finish up, brother.
But with yours, how do you deal with all the hate? Like there is obviously the elephant in the room is if you're natty or not natty. I think you are. Let me put that on record.
Appreciate it.
But I think
Yeah, honest man.
he is. Yeah. But there's a lot of other things that people say. Again, it's the get lucky thing. It's get rich quick schemes. It's you're scamming people. Whatever it is that people say. How do you deal with that?
I don't deal with it. It's just not real. Like I've never had a bad interaction in person. I've never had someone come up to me in person and say, "Oh, you're a fake natty" or "You're scam people." It's all online. Yeah. And I just got to a point where I see stuff online. I don't even register it. It's not real. It's like on a screen, pixels. So I don't. To answer your question, if I see hate, I don't think it's real. If I see positive comments, sure, because that's what I get in person. People, "Oh, thank you, bro. I watch your videos. You inspire me. You got me in the gym. I watched this video that got me to start the gym, and then I'm here." So the only thing that I see in person is the stuff that I register when I see it online. But if I don't feel it, like it doesn't happen in person and I see it online, to me, it doesn't exist.
It's a matter of focusing on the positives.
Focus on the positives.
It's not just the positives. If I was getting hate in person, then maybe I would start getting into my own head when I see comments in person, like on Instagram or whatever. Yeah. It's just in person is, it's real life. And I've never had a bad interaction in person. So if I do see one online, it's not real life. It's not real.
Yeah, I can't relate to that, bro. I have had quite the in-person interactions. We just had one just now, and that's the story I'm about to tell.
It's crazy.
So look, like the life that you want has sacrifices that you have to make if you want to continue growing, right? We operate in a reality where parallels exist. Allah has created this way. Right? Allah is not going to burden a soul more than it can bear. Okay, the reason why you have how many followers on Instagram?
2.7.
2.7 mil. The reason why you have 2.7 million followers of a certain ecosystem, a certain audience, is because you can handle it. You can handle that, and you have been handling it. You're doing a great job, right? However, with my work, I'm a philosopher. I have my work. It's interesting. It's interesting work. It's intellectual stuff, right? And I'm having my books come out. I have my YouTube video come out. I have my podcast. All that stuff is going out. People are going to have opinions. People are going to throw their hate, right? Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, I asked Allah for 1 million followers, right? Because 1 million followers means that maybe on average 50 million views, all right? Maybe more. You probably know with your demographic and your statistics, analytics, right? Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, is that every single time I hit a plateau in my following, it is because I simply can't handle the next level, and Allah knows that, and Allah will throw me tests until I can handle the next level. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. All right. I got stuck for the first time at 70,000 followers. All right. And it was a lot. I started getting a lot of hate comments, right? And I'd be reactive and I'd be replying to each and every single comment, right? Trying to stick up for my philosophy, trying to stick up for my takes, right? But until I finally relaxed and I was like, you know what? It's really not that deep, the consciousness that you're talking about. And boom, supercharged, 100K. Then I got stuck at 100K. And I was like, man, like, this is tough as well. Because now I'm getting recognized in person. People are still hate comments, all that stuff. YouTube was going off, but YouTube was doing well. Nobody does that much hating on YouTube. But still, I had to be able to get over that. And then when I allowed for my consciousness to expand and to be able to handle it, Allah quite literally gave me 100,000 followers and change. And then we hit 226,000 exactly a year. Now, interestingly enough, today, I'm sitting at the same spot, lunch spot with Umer. Okay. And I'm like, Umer, I think I've gotten at least 50 DMs in the last hour from people in Montreal. They really want to meet, right? We should host an event. He's like, yeah, you could just post a story and just pick a spot and they can come out and meet you, right? Yeah. I'm like, maybe when I have my book launch and we can do a meet and greet and whatnot. So either way, we spoke about it. I now sent a order to the divine. Now here's how Allah operates. You send an order to Allah. What do you think the first thing He's going to do? He's going to test you, right? He's like, yeah, cool. This is what you want? My slave, my servant. Let's test you. Let's throw you a little bit. Let's see how you can handle it. Now, I made a mistake. I would say it's a mistake, but I learned from that mistake. Won't do it again. I posted my location of where I was at in Montreal right before I went in for lunch.
Okay.
But I didn't intend to post location. I was just like, oh yeah, like Montreal's super cool. It's a nice day. Reminds me of Europe. If you guys are in Montreal, let me know.
Yeah.
All right. I leave the lunch spot immediately. Somebody comes up to me, says, hey bro, right? Want to take a photo with you. Love your content, right? That interaction was cool, even though he clearly stalked me and tried to find me, right?
Yeah.
But then what happened next was there's a woman comes up to me and Umer while I'm taking a photo with the other guy. She hands me the phone. She's like, can you take a photo of me? And Umer's like, oh, I'll take a photo of you guys, right? And she's like, no, I want him to take a photo of me, because he has the green eyes. And immediately I'm like, something's sus about this. Umer looks at me like, something's sus here, right? And so I take a photo of her. Okay, cool. Well, here's your phone. And then she starts talking to me. I'm like, all right, answering the questions and whatnot. And she's like, oh, well, like you do business and whatnot. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, how'd you get into business? Like, what's your success like? And I told her that, I became a millionaire at 21. And I dropped out of school because she asked me if I went to university and I didn't. And she's like, okay, well, my son wants to do that too, right? And maybe you can talk to my son. Can I have your number? And I'm like, no, I don't give out my number, right? I've had people message my phone before, my number's gotten doxed before. I'm not trying to do that, right? And she's like, no, like I won't do anything. Like, let me have your number. And I said, no, it's okay. You can send me a message on Instagram, right? You can have my Instagram. And she's like, okay. Well, I show her my Instagram, and she's already following me. She acted like she had no idea who I was. And I'm like, oh, you already follow me? She's like, oh, no way. I'm following you? Cool. I had no idea. Well, yeah, okay, well, you know what? You can send me a DM on Instagram, right? I'll reply. She's like, oh, well, you're not going to reply? You have so many followers? I'm like, no, I'll reply here. I'm going to hit the DM button. She already sent me DMs. And I'm just sitting there like, okay. So, anyways, long story short, I'm going to change my phone number because I ended up giving it to her. She was very persistent, right? Not the best move, but I realized in that moment, I'm just going to change the number, all right?
Yeah.
My number got doxed already. It's the smartest play to make.
Yeah.
However, after that, I thought to myself, I'm like, why did Allah do this, right? You can't really question the divine, but you can ask this question, what is this doing for me? Not to me.
Yeah.
Because I could have easily been like, man, like that was like a really big breach of privacy and that was a really weird situation. I'm thinking to myself, what's Allah doing for me? And I'm like, wow, well, that's so spectacular. He's so interesting, right? I asked Allah to host some events and he gave me a taste of what it's like for people to walk up to me just like that.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time, obviously, alhamdulillah. But in that scenario where I dox my location, people find me via my story, that's a first.
Yeah.
And I realized that there's two routes here. Either I panic and I'm like, you know what? I can't handle this. You think I'm going to grow, Hussein, after that? No, bro. Because I can't handle it. I can't handle the growth. But then I'm like, no. If I can't handle it, then I'm not going to grow. I can't pursue the mission, right? I can't continue putting out the books and the videos and host the in-person meet and greets and host the events and speak on stage. I can't do what I need to do in order to make the impact that I need to make. So I come into the studio. I'm looking in the mirror, and we're talking about the situation. I'm just like, what a blessing it is to have the problems that come with the life that you asked for. And that's all it is. Sometimes you ask Allah for a life, and it's going to come with some problems. It's a compromise. Now I have to ask myself, do I want the life? Because if I want the life, I got to deal with the problems. If I don't want the problems, then I won't have the life. So I want the life. I'll deal with the problems.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of people can learn from this story. It's not just about influence. It's about anything. It's about what you do. It's about being a business person or a teacher or getting married, right? That comes with problems, dude. By the way, very impressive that you're holding yourself for marriage. Yeah. Bro, honestly, I've seen those videos too. And I even saw the video where you didn't miss a prayer for 2 years or something?
Yeah, I've been trying to stay on.
Bro, that's amazing. Allahumma barik. And then you guys ask, well, how do I become successful? Like, bro, this guy prayed every single prayer for 2 years. How do you not become successful? You know what I mean?
I agree. No, I definitely agree. That what you said about the problems, like a lot of people are like, oh, how do you handle people coming up to you? How do you handle like the fame and everything? I'll be honest, bro. Like I don't even have to handle it this much. I'm really reserved. I stay I've never done an event. I've never posted where I'm at. I stay like pretty reserved. But obviously, there's a lot of people that come up here and there. And my answer to it is like, with everything that I have now, with the impact that I have, with the following, the businesses and everything, it's like, it's a pleasure to be able to, talk to these people or like, essentially for the life that I want, it's like barely anything to deal with those people that come up to me. And also, like, again, if you have a positive message, most of the time it's positive interactions as well. Like, again, a lot of people are like, oh, you get a lot of hate online. All of the interactions in person are great. Obviously, there's like here and there like something weird that happens, but like overall, like maybe 95% of the time, it's someone who's inspired by the journey or someone who learned something from me that was able to apply it to his life. So yes, you know, it's a pleasure. As long as your message is clean and your message is like helpful to people, I think you'll have a great experience with the people that you're meeting in person. Yeah, because if someone hates you, most of the time they're not even going to come up to you unless like they hate you like crazy.
Yeah.
But it's never happened to me. I don't do anything like that bad to have people absolutely hate me for it. My message is clean. I help people get in shape. I help people make money now. So it's like, again, you can hate on me, but like if you follow the message, you're only going to get positive results. And if you hate on me and not follow the message, you're not going to come up to me in person if you see me most of the time.
Yeah, and hate is just a reflection of oneself, bro. I don't hate on people because that just shows that I'm insecure within me. Why would I hate on somebody? I'm completely secure in myself.
Exactly.
I'm confident. You don't hate on anybody.
Never.
Bro, look at you, mashallah. Like, why would you hate on somebody? Allah has gifted you. Allah has gifted me. And if we really, Allah has gifted you. Bro, Umer is so positive, genuinely. He's one of the most positive people. He gives me such sincere advice. And I think about it, I'm like, the only way that you can truly love yourself is if you love Allah. Mm-hmm. Right? And you look at the gifts that you have. It's like, you know, the inner child, Hussein? We talked about this yesterday with Saad. We talked about this with, I talked about it in another podcast as well. But the inner child is so important. I want to ask you about your inner child as well. Hopefully you don't mind, right? But I truly believe that you truly become purposeful and mission-driven and you become successful in life in a fulfilled way, right? Because you can become successful doing things you don't even like.
Exactly, yeah. Right?
When you activate that inner child. Because let's be real, when we were kids, we were the most creative. We were the most fulfilled and happy, and we were observing reality, right? So for me, this is actually my inner child. Who I am today is the most childhood version of myself, but just in adult form. Mm-hmm. Like I'm an adult, you know, I'm a child internally with adult money. Basically, that's how I do it. And bro, like look at the actions that you're doing. Yeah. Bro, this is probably your inner child, but I mean, you could agree or disagree, but what's your take on that?
100%. I think, especially for content, bro, there's nothing more fun. I literally think of this like sometimes I'm making a piece of content with my brother or my sister, and it's like, for example, yesterday I was in the gym, all right? We're making a video. I posted it a couple of days ago. It's, so it's like me making a crafting table in middle of the gym. It's like, whatever, it's just a funny video. But I know it's going to get a lot of views. I know it's going to drive people to my page. Maybe someone follows. Maybe after they follow me, I make a story about my mentorship. They end up joining. So everything, obviously, every piece of content I put out can translate into money. And what I'm doing in the gym is literally I'm putting dumbbells, not the dumbbells, but like barbells on top of each other, literally like a kid, and having fun doing it. Just like, and that's whenever I'm having fun doing something, making content, that's when it does the best. And I'm literally like sitting down. For example, we take pictures, whatever, of the car, and me and my brother, and we're laughing, and we're just having fun. It's literally children making content, and that's when it does the best. And when you try to get too serious about it, when you try like, obviously you can like, I still treat it as a business every time, but I feel like the content does better when I'm more creative, and usually when I'm more creative, I'm more childish. So I do agree. It goes together.
I also want to ask you a question. I've seen some reels about, you know, with you and your sister. Your sister's a fitness influencer as well, right? You guys are like two little kids, just like conversing back and forth, just picking at each other like siblings do. Right, and I'm sure that really helps you as well, right? Because those are the pieces of content I'm very interested in. I'm like, man, like this guy knows how to interact with women, because women just want to play, right? They don't really like the serious guy with the, you know, like stone cold flames. They want the playful dude who's like his inner child, right? Who's authentic to himself. Mm-hmm. So what do you have to say about that?
I think it just shows people that like, you know, I'm a regular person, I'm a regular human. A lot of people think like, oh, this guy has this many followers or make this. It makes me seem like an actual human. Like I'm just having fun with my sister or training, making content, whatever. So yes, I do think it's good to put out there. Like, and even we don't even plan anything, bro. We're just filming for a YouTube video, or a lot of times, just like I clip up stuff that was funny in the video. I send it to my team to clip it up. But it just shows people that like you can literally have fun, have a regular life, and still also like run a business, grow on social media. A lot of people think like, oh, I need to be a totally different person, when you're going to do the best when you're the most yourself. You don't try to play another person. You don't try like, again, it's social media. It's a personal brand. It's not like, oh, you're trying to be someone else. When you're yourself and you're actually like, you know, tapped into that version of yourself, a lot of people are going to relate to you. That's when you can build a personal brand. I'm sure like you're yourself when you do your content, and it does the best when you're yourself because you're not trying to play someone else. You can never be a better version of, well, essentially like you're never, your content is never going to feel truly authentic when you're trying to be someone else.
Yeah.
So like the best way to do it is like you're yourself. Maybe some people are not going to like it, but those are not the people you're trying to like attract. Same thing with women, bro. Like if you try to play a role, I've never lied about anything. Whenever I'm talking to people, I'm always honest 100% because I'm like, if it doesn't work out, then perfect, because I don't want it to work out and me not being myself, because it's going to be such a headache to deal with. You're trying to play someone else. So yes, I think through life, just be yourself, and whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen, and you're going to truly feel happy about it because you're not playing a role. It's not like going to be exhausting on yourself.
Yeah, you get what you get and don't be upset.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, one thing I've also realized about your content, especially those interactions, is that you're very responsive instead of reactive, and I love that. That's pure masculinity, by the way. what you're saying is the basis of masculinity. You be authentic. You're not performative, right? You believe in yourself. You take the action. Like, for example, Saad yesterday filling the potholes. He's a fire starter. You see a problem, you tackle it.
Yeah.
Right? You're not passive about it, or nor are you toxic about it. Like, you're just a man about it, right? And one thing I've seen is you're not reactive, because your sister will poke at your like bicep, like, oh, like, are you Natty? And you just joke with her and you play into the controversy. Which is interesting, because that's something that I've been doing recently as well. I just play into it. Like, oh yeah, you want to call me a grifter? Oh, that's all good. Whatever you want to call me, right? Like on my business page, or you want to say that oh, my videos or my takes on women, it makes me a simp. Cool. If it makes me a simp, then it makes me a simp. You know, I'll have fun with it, right? I'm not going to react. I'm going to respond. So how important is it to respond as a man instead of reacting?
I think it's everything, bro. Like, again, if you were to like the way I see it, bro, let's say someone is hating or someone is criticizing you, or even like the grifter thing. Let's say, oh, you're a grifter. They weren't going to help you, or like, essentially, they weren't going to get your program. They weren't going to interact with your content. They weren't going to bring you anything to your life. So why even react? Like the way I see it, I've had this so much, like, oh, you're a scammer. Oh, bro, you don't help your clients. I'm like, okay, sure. Like, if you want to get scammed as well, DM me the word mentor, and I'll help you. And the thing is, because those people are not going to join regardless. And if someone who was going to join sees this, they're like, oh, this guy is like funny. This guy is joking. For the fake Natty thing, is the same thing. Like, oh, I'm a fake Natty. Sure. The people that think I'm a fake Natty weren't going to get my program to join my coaching, or weren't going to subscribe or follow or actually bring me anything. So I'm like, I'll play into it. And the people that truly believe me already are going to be like, oh, this is funny. You know, like he's just having fun with it.
I'm using that.
Yeah.
If you want to scam as well,
it's happened before.
Send your colleague.
You'll never meet a hater doing better than you, bro. You'll never, ever interact with somebody who's hating on you, who's doing better than you. It always comes from below, bro.
Yeah.
Somebody who's already on it, somebody who's successful, he'll never have any hate for you, because he knows how hard it is to get to wherever it is that you guys are. But on that note, because we spoke about sacrifice, we spoke about lust, which is like, I didn't really think we'd get there, but we did. And we spoke about one thing that is really, really important, which is business. Both of you mentioned it. Now, you have a very different type of business. You also have a very different type of business. You're private equity, you're running your own business. But nobody really knows what you do. Like, I understand that it's online fitness coaching, but it's not as simple as that. There are operations, there are people on the back end, there are so many moving parts. Can you walk us through exactly what you're doing on the business side of things?
Sure. So I'm running a fitness business, obviously, where I help people get in shape. So that side, obviously, I have a whole team behind it. I have setters, closers, coaches as well who help me with everything. But also, I'm doing the mentorship now, where I'm helping people get into fitness coaching. That's the main thing that I'm focusing on now. That's the thing that I promote the most as well. It's like, I've seen how easy it was. Like, I made $12,000 in my first 2 weeks of fitness coaching with only 60,000 followers. And obviously, like, now I have clients with less than 500 followers making $7,000, $8,000 a month. So I know how easy it is, at least for me, it was to make money with an audience or with anybody. Like, if you have people, again, 8,000 followers are able to make 20K a month with the system that I teach them. So now I'm a lot more into mentorship, which is just literally teaching people how to do better content, teaching people how to take those views, turn them into, clients for you. And also the fulfillment side. I don't think anybody that was able to scale their fitness coaching to my extent is offering a mentorship. And I help them even with the fulfillment side. Everybody that I've seen, I've joined a few mentorships to see what they have to offer, to see like, make mine better. And nobody really helps with the fulfillment side. Like, this is how you get your clients results. And I've done it for so long, which is like, I literally give them the game plan. I give them exactly what I've done for myself that I was able to scale to 6 figures a month with my fitness coaching. And I just help them not only get clients, but also be able to provide them results, which is the most important thing. So, yeah.
Did you go to business school?
No, well, yes, I kind of did finance. I did finance in university, but I dropped out, and I don't think I learned anything from it. I learned how to cheat, which honestly helps because content is, I tell this to everyone, the best way to do content, and Farzi said this before, the best way to do content is to see what's working and do it in your own way. Like take exactly what's working, a piece of content that's working, and literally replicate it and adding your own twist. Literally like cheating, I used to go to exams, look at people's sheets. Okay, this guy put B, this guy put C, this guy looks smarter, let me take his answer. Yeah. So literally I learned how to cheat properly, and I think it really applied to my my content in general. Like I look at what people are doing, I realize, okay, this is an outlier video, so let me take it, I'll do it my own way, add my own twist. And that's how I was able to grow. I grew to 1 million followers in 6 months. So I think it was really by taking people's content and making it my own, adding my own twist, and posting it.
Bro, that's amazing by the way. 1 million in 6 months.
Yeah.
Bro, I wanted to say something about the cheating stuff. This is so funny, bro. This is hilarious. Okay. So I was always the one people helping them cheat.
Yeah.
All right. Brainiac from a young age, I guess. But you know how we used to cheat? This is so funny. All right. So my boys, so I was in prep school for basketball. So I was living away from home, and we would travel every single, other day or every week to a new state or whatever to play ball, right? Played against a lot of NBA dudes. This was a fun experience in my life. But anyways, my teammates, they weren't the best at school, but obviously you need the grades to go D1.
Yeah.
So this is how I'd help them cheat. So we'd be in the same class, okay? And let's say this is my foot and this is my pencil. So if it's a multiple choice question, all right, this is how we get the question. Question number 5 with their foot, and I'm listening. I look at question number 5. What did I answer? A, B, C, or D? If the answer is C, I helped my boys pass school, and everybody got 80 plus in that class.
Yeah,
literally helped them cheat. It's okay. It happened, guys. It is what it is.
Yeah,
you gotta put your boys on, but yeah, you're right. Learning how to cheat.
Learning how to cheat is, for me, honestly, it applied to business. So I guess I did go to business school. It did help me, but it wasn't the knowledge that I got there. It was literally trying to, I think like life and business in general is just solving problems, like you said. I didn't study, so I got to get the grades. I'll find some way to get them, and it was by cheating. For me, it was by cheating, and also I was a lot focused on content. I was doing, had a full-time job, and also I was going to school full-time when I started content. So I didn't even have time to study. I was focused on what I wanted to actually do, which was content and growing it. And like I said, as soon as I made my first sale, I was like, okay, I'll take this full-time, focus on this, and then from there, like I said, I did what I did.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is that you did that method, and honestly, that method works. And Farzi told me the same thing. He's like, yeah, man, you just got to find the stuff that's working. You said that too. What was your core about it?
R&D. What does R&D stand for?
Research and development.
Rob and duplicate.
Rob and duplicate. That was a fire one. He said that to me in the car the other day. I was like, damn, that was really good. So I've always made it my main focus. Again, what I said earlier, I don't go with the flow. I am the flow. To like create new methods, create new types of content. Started with the whiteboard videos. I added these magnets, and every single time I'm talking, I take off a magnet to increase user retention. Right?
Yeah.
And it's because I just studied psychology so deep, bro. It's I'm a nerd, right? Like you got your McLaren, right? And have you ever seen that trend where you come out of the gas station and your car's parked up? Did you do it, by the way?
I did it.
You did it? Yeah. How did it do, by the way?
It did well.
It did well.
You drop like your bottle and you're looking at the car.
Yeah. So inshallah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a gas station, put a stack of books, I'm going to come out of the gas station, drop my bottle, and that's my McLaren right there. It's books, bro. I'm a nerd, man. Honestly, like from the depthness of my heart, I'm a nerd. I just love learning. It's just I'm a geek, all right? And yeah, I study psychology so much to the point where I'm like, where can I apply this?
Yeah.
On content. Let me see if this is going to work to help with retention. Let me see if this is going to work to help with the hook, because these concepts that go viral come from somewhere, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
From some sort of fire starter, right?
Yeah.
So I've always took pride in being the one who creates the flow.
Sure.
And then let people come in. I got so many messages like, yo, bro, I wanna use this content. You want mine, right? Like your style of content. Yeah, bro. somebody has to copy it.
Yeah.
Right. And then to the point where I'll watch piece of content. It's like word for word my video.
Yeah.
A video that I just pulled up and just like started recording myself.
Yeah.
No duplication, no nothing. Right. But what you do works. Right. And I'm not going to say I didn't do that either. There was, when I first started my page, I did that. Right.
Yeah.
To get the first, let's say, 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
Right. And after that, I was like, all right, cool. I got a little bit of an audience. Now let me do what I like.
Yeah.
Which is applying the psychology, which is called applied psychology. And that's the way that I grow my businesses too. Right. So my main value proposition, a lot of people ask me this. I was sitting at a cafe at Ridgeway Plaza in Toronto or Mississauga. And the woman who was sitting across the table from me, there's two women, one here, one here. And they were like, I don't get it. Like, why do people give you 30, 40% of their businesses? For what? Right? And sometimes they just give it to you for free. Well, yeah, because I come with an understanding of how business works from an applied psychology standpoint. Everything I touch, alhamdulillah, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every business I've touched turns into gold. Right? It's because I come into the business not from I would say, quantitative standpoint, from a qualitative standpoint. Yeah. I look at the applied psychology. Right, and I'll tell you some crazy stuff. When we were closing deals, so this is kind of crazy. All right, I don't know if this doesn't really align with Islam, but we would look at the astrology, right, and we'd look at fire signs, water signs, earth signs, and air signs. Okay, and we would look at the correlation between if somebody was an air sign, are they in more of a logical capacity? Right. If somebody's a water sign, are they in more of an emotional capacity? If somebody's an earth sign, are they in a more pragmatic capacity? If they're a fire sign, are they in a more intuitive and materialistic capacity? And we were able, through research, through sales calls, I'd be booking 200 sales calls a week, through research to see that there actually is congruence. The congruency was there. If somebody is an air sign in astrology, for some reason, when we approach the sales call from a logical capacity, they close. Yeah. Right? And then if it was a fire sign, if we approached it from a materialistic, intuitive capacity, it would work. Yeah. Right? So I just love experimenting with psychology, with these different things. And it's interesting that you said that about the stealing content, because I've experienced people stealing my content. I'm sure people steal your content all the time too, right? Of course. But I'd like to give that knowledge to people, is that, experiment too, right? Yeah. Because especially if you like to learn, especially if you learn things about human nature, right? A lot of things I teach about women. The reason why it works so well, because it's mathematical, it's primal psychology. Because think about it, right? Like, we talk about attachment styles, we talk about personality traits, right? But from the baseline, it's just primal psychology. It's consistent. Yeah. And it applies to everything. It doesn't matter if a girl is materialistic or she's not. It doesn't matter if a girl had father issues or not. Her primal psychology just doesn't change. And when you teach it from that standpoint, everybody's now relating to the content. Like, whoa, like, how did this guy learn this? Why does this make so much sense? And it's all the women. Yeah. It's like, how do you know this much about women? Right now they're asking me questions. It's like my fake Natty status. How do you know so much? It's like, bro, you are a fake Natty, bro. I'm like in the books, and then applying it in real life and seeing what works. Right. I'm not going to go into that part, but the point is that learn and apply. And I'm sure you apply so many different things into your sales calls, into your business. Absolutely, yeah. Right? You actually post so many different styles of content, I've noticed. It's not one. It's like you have at least 15, 20 different styles of content that you post. I don't do that. Yeah. That's interesting.
It's just over time, I've tried so many things. Again, I do agree with what you said. It's learn and apply. But at the start, you don't know exactly what's going to work. So what I tell people is just take what's working, try to add a small thing. Again, let's say, for example, you take a video, you see, okay, this guy did a 3-second hook. I don't look just at the content itself. I look also at the structure of the video. If someone, for example, their hook was 2.5 seconds, I would try and replicate that. I would try and replicate as much as possible. And then over time, I'll be able to, okay, this video worked. Let me try and take this hook, put it in this video. And that's how I'm able to create new styles of content, new subjects. If I have a hook that works on one video, I can literally take it, put it on something else, and be like, this is how you make money, for example. But people would stay on it. It would do well because of the hook that has worked on something else. So I don't try to also at the start, like I said, I recommend people take it, replicate it in your own way, but then over time you can literally look at your content and be like, okay, this video worked, this one worked, let me put them together, create a new style of content, and it's bound to work. It's numbers. It's you have proof of concept on both of them. It is going to work. So that's how I'm able to create new styles and know they're going to work. It's I'm not even gambling. It's just like I'm putting a video out there. I know it's going to work because it's worked before. It's the same thing for when you take a piece of content from someone.
And that drives you, right? When you see that your coaching clients or getting clients.
Yeah.
That dopamine, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
what got me in this. Like at first, bro, I started content because I just wanted free supplements. I was broke. I was in college. I was working, but I wasn't making much. So I wanted free supplements. I was like, okay, if I can get free supplements, I'll be happy. I set a goal in January. I wanted 10,000 followers. That was my goal. And then I fell in love with making better videos. Okay, like this hook is working. Let me try and put it on this video and try to like make it better. And just fell in love with making better content. And like I said, I started around June and I set a goal for January, 10,000 followers. In January, I had 1 million. And it wasn't even like, I'm working towards this goal. It was just like I'm working to get better at making content. The sponsors, I was already working with Gymshark by then. I had supplement sponsors. They were paying me just to actually like promote their stuff. So it's like it started with a small goal, but then I fell in love with the action of like making better videos. I think
process.
Exactly. If you go into it with only like love for the outcome, I don't think you're going to be able to do well because you're not going to get the outcome unless you're good at videos. But the opposite works. If you're good at videos, you're going to get everything that you want with it. So I started for the wrong reasons, but I kept going for the right ones. So yeah.
Wow. That's deep.
Hey guys, thank you for getting to the midpoint of this podcast. Listen, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you for giving us a chance to listen or watch this podcast. I've put a lot of effort into it and I'm so happy to see people enjoying it. The reason why I'm doing this podcast is number one, I love authentic storytelling, but the problem I see is every other podcast or show has the same guest coming over and over again. And I do think that defeats the purpose of authentic storytelling. So my guarantee to you is I will always bring on people with authentic stories, people who are relatable, and people who have lived these larger than life stories. And number two, I just need feedback from you guys. I need feedback on if I'm doing a good job, feedback on if I'm doing a bad job, feedback through the comments, through Instagram DMs. Anything will help me better my craft. I appreciate you guys for getting to the midpoint of this podcast and I hope you enjoy the rest of it. Thank you. Yeah, everything was intentional.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my for me especially, because I'm still early on in my content journey and I know a lot of people want to start posting content. You said that you started off with the quote-unquote wrong intentions or you just wanted sponsors, you just wanted to make a buck.
Yeah.
That's fine, that's what everybody wants to do at this point.
It wasn't even making a buck, it was saving a buck. Because
I was getting this spending so much money on your supplements.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants to start now, what do you say to them? Like, okay, there's the R&D, there's rob and duplicate, whatever's working for other people, get enough data for yourself to then just copy your own formats.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
But then how do you keep going to the point where you're monetizing?
I think having an outside reason other than yourself is always the best thing because I could stop now. Like I have what I want. I have this stuff that I've always wanted, even more. Like if I look at it, okay, like I started for this reason. I started for free supplements. I've made millions now. I'm driving 2 of my dream cars. I have my dream watch. So I could, I should have stopped technically if it was just for myself. But I have other reasons now where it's like, okay, I want to provide for my family. I want to have a future family that I'm going to take care of. So I think having outside reasons is always going to keep you going even more. And also going back into, faith and Allah and like, my mission now is like helping people be the best version of themselves. So I think like I'm also working through God as well at the same time. I'm trying to be the best version of myself so people can look at me and be like, okay, this guy is following his faith. Maybe that's the way of doing it. And I do think it's the way of doing it. So I think now I'm not only working for myself, I'm also, working for Allah and I'm trying to essentially send the best message through my content. So yeah, having outside reasons for what you're doing is the best way to keep going, in my opinion.
Well, I relate to that. Yeah. And that's one thing I really relate to because you got to embody what it is to be a Muslim in order for people to look at Islam as the truth.
Yeah.
You have to. And this is why I said this to you earlier is, look, some people can look at you and be like, okay, this is new money.
Yeah.
All right. You got the McLaren, the
It
watch,
is new
all that
money.
stuff. It is new money, right? Some people look at that, right? And you're young too. How old are you?
23.
23 years
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm turning 27 this month, actually.
Nice.
Inshallah. Hopefully we make it. But interestingly enough, man, yes, it's new money. But I'm happy that you're doing it. I'm happy that you're doing it through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like I said earlier, is because it shows that Islam's the truth. You tap in with Allah, you've tapped into infinite potential. Anything is now possible.
Yeah.
Right? And that's my goal as well, is I continuously show people what you can achieve through the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm an embodiment of the principles that I teach. You watch my videos on masculinity or manifestation or faith or relationships. I'm an embodiment of what I teach. I don't just talk. I'm going to embody it and show you the results in real time. When you meet me in person, you're like, wait, something was different about that guy. He transmutated my energy. I said this on the podcast yesterday as well. I met this homeless dude, and when I met him, he was on the ground begging for change. And I gave him $1 as a token to have a conversation here. Actually, it was $2. It was a toonie. Gave it to him. And then I talked to him. I shook his hand. I looked at him as a person. I applied what I teach. I transmutated my energy to him, not through my words. Umer, Hussein, not through my words. I didn't say, why don't you get a job? Man, you could do whatever you want in this world. I'm not trying to give him some sort of motivational speech. Just through showing him his own self-worth. That, hey man, what's your name? What do you like to do? What drives you? How do you view the world? And we have this 30-minute conversation. You know what the funny thing about that conversation was? At the end of that conversation, he got up. This is what he did. He got up. As he's talking to me, he's packing all those things, cleaning himself off, fixing his hair. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to go get my life together. I'm going to go get a job. I didn't have to tell him to go get a job. I didn't have to tell him to do anything.
Yeah.
All I did was apply the principle is that when you put out an energy, you can change people's lives. You just have to see God through them. Everybody's a mirror. Everybody's a creation of Allah. You can see a glimpse of Allah everywhere. You could see a glimpse of Allah in the studio. Look at this. Like the studio host is right there, right? Look at this beautiful studio you created. Those ideas came to you somewhere, bro, to make such a beautiful studio. The quality is amazing. You can see a glimpse of God in you, bro. And this is not blasphemy. This is not, oh, God, all of us. No, it's you can see how God gifted this person, what he gifted him, and how he took God's cognitions and downloads and synchronicities that came to us and turned it into a real life manifestation. You can see that. So that's all you gotta do is, wow, this is a creation of God. Let me treat him with some respect and honor, even though he's homeless, even though his hand was dirty. I shook his hand like a man. I'm like, you're a man. I'm gonna shake your hand like a man. I don't care if your hand's dirty. Oh, no, bro, I'm gonna get dirty. His hand's dirty. No. Why? It doesn't matter if you got the RM or if you're a homeless dude. I'm gonna look at you like God's creation. I'm gonna show you that you could change your life, not through my words, bro. Talk is cheap sometimes. Just through action. You know what I mean? It's super important.
It's the ego, right? It's not letting the ego get in the way.
Yeah.
For you, has that been a problem?
Never been a problem. I know where I started. I see potential in everyone that I meet. I truly, again, that's how I teach them content as well. I'm like, everybody has an advantage that they can use to make content, regardless of what it is. I've seen so many people be successful with literally, they never thought they would be. I don't think I would have been, like, I didn't believe I was going to be successful, like I said before, but I was able to make it happen. So I don't have this ego because I know anybody's capable of it. So yeah, it's and also the way I was raised, bro. I was never someone who, treat this guy like this because he has this, or treat this guy, bad. So no, I don't think ego has ever been an issue with me. Obviously, I think it's good to have an ego and like work hard to justify it as well. Like I think now, obviously, like I'm not gonna tolerate specific things, or I'm not gonna like settle for less than what
mediocre.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna settle for less than I truly believe I'm either able of doing or able of getting. So not ego in a sense of like towards others, maybe ego towards me and what I'm able to do.
Like it's a higher standard, basically.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with ego, bro. Ego is just simply identity. It's the inflated ego. It's the arrogance that makes you unrighteous, right? Like, look at why Shaitan is the example, right? When we're arrogant, we're going towards Shaitan. When we just have an identity, everybody has an identity. Like, for example, Saad, he's going around filling potholes. That's his identity. He's doing things for Montreal. He identifies as a civilian who's a fire starter, who's going to make things happen and inspire other people to make things happen too. Your identity, bro, you're like a superhero. You're quite literally like an online superhero, like in the flesh,
bro.
Right, bro? And you're helping other people create more superheroes. You're helping superheroes create more superheroes. Isn't that interesting?
That's a good way of seeing it.
Like a domino effect, right? And then me.
What superhero would you be?
No, I don't even need to talk about my ego. I guess people can just see it, right? But yeah. What superhero would you be?
Honestly, this is kind of a funny story, bro. I go through life, and it's something recent, all right? I go through life, and I'm like, what can I do here to be as close as possible to Batman? That's literally, I'll be honest, bro. That's literally how I go through life now.
That too sometimes.
Just because of the discipline, like you don't have, like, you don't fall for lust. You have a mission. You follow your essentially like your purpose. So yeah, it is something that I tell myself here and there. Like, okay, what should I do here in order to be able to be close to that person? But I also see like the best version of myself as well. Like, what would I do if I was like, let's say I imagine myself like 10 years from now with inshallah family, kids, and everything.
Inshallah.
What would that person think of this action that I'm about to take right now? And if that doesn't fall into, what I should be doing, I wouldn't do it. I would try to, whatever action is going to get me close to that version, that's what I do.
Just having strong values.
Isn't yours Batman too?
Batman.
Mine's Batman too. Well, that's a crazy synchronicity right there. Mine's Batman too. You'll literally see me post Batman stories all the time. Like, you ever seen that photo of Bruce Wayne looking at his bat suit? Like,
Yeah, of course.
I post that all the time. My mood, right? Because it's like the Batman costume represents a purpose that's beyond yourself.
Exactly.
A mission that's beyond yourself.
Yeah.
I was having this conversation earlier today. I'm like, man, like the whole billionaire thing is not even for me, dude. I'm okay with $1 million a year. Like, even after $50K a month, you're like, what am I going to do with all this money? Think about that, right? Like, what are you going to do with after $50K a month? It's like, even $10K a month is like a lot of money, but obviously it doesn't get you the RM, right? But $50K a month is cool, right? $1 million a year is cool. But the billionaire thing is more because I feel like there's so many things that we can do for the ummah. There's so many things that we could do for the sake of Allah. Right? There's so many people that we can fuel. And the reason why I put it out on the internet that I've now created this LARP, right? This live action role play of me being a billionaire. And this is why I'm open about it. I'm not a billionaire. Right? Alhamdulillah, I do very well for myself, right? However, I'm not a billionaire yet. But I'm holding the identity of a billionaire and I'm live action role playing that. Because when people are going to look back at it and inshallah it happens, they'll be like, wow, this guy told us from the very beginning that you have to step into that role.
Yeah.
You have to act upon that role and you have to do the work for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then not only are you achieving good in this dunya, but for your hereafter as well. You're creating sadqa jariyas for your parents and for people, right? If I see somebody who's, for example, they're poor and they can't create that sadqa jariyah for themselves, I'll create a well for them. Why not? I'll create an orphanage for them. Why not? I'll create a school for them. Why not? Because that's what you can do with $1 billion, man. Right? So for me, it's like beyond me. But here's the thing is, that comes with its tests. That comes with its sacrifices. That comes with the problems. You have to be able to handle the problems just as much as you're able to handle the blessings. But if you look at the problems, like they're not even problems. It's just a mercy from Allah.
Yeah.
It just comes with the role.
Comes with the role.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Right? You gotta handle it the right way.
I agree. And also, like, I think just in general, men that have, like, let's call it, like, again, this is something I want to talk about. I'll probably do a story tomorrow about it or something. I saw, Hadi Abdel?
Yes, I've seen his stuff, yeah.
So he made a story the other day and it kind of like got me thinking. I've always thought that way, but like I can't get along with people that are not competitive. I just feel like as a man, bro, you have to be competitive. You have to want more. So even if it's not about like $1 billion or having that money, you're not going to use all that money. But like, why would you not chase it? Why would you not go for it? It's the same thing with business. Like now, obviously, I'm making way more than I've ever wanted. I'm making way more than I thought I would ever be able to make. But I'm not going to stop here because I'm always in this constant, growth phase. And I don't feel like if I was to sit down and like be like, okay, this is enough, I feel like I would just die. It's like I got to have something. I got to keep going. So I feel like as a man in general, especially like, someone who's, wants to be more successful, someone who wants to achieve more, you always have this thing of like, oh, I want to make more. It's not even about like having the thing. It's just about like the purpose or like going for more. So yeah, in general, I don't want $1 billion, but I'm always going to be working for more, regardless of what it is. Could be content, could be money, could be whatever it is, helping more people. But I'm always going to go for more just because it's who I am.
What you said is so powerful. I'm going to really clarify what you said for a lot of people. Is people are going to look at the word competition and attach something negative to that, where it's like, I got to win in order for you to lose. Yeah. And you got to lose in order for me to win. That's not what it is. And if you look at Hadi's content, this is why I really respect what they do at times. You went there, right?
Yeah.
How was that experience?
I've been gym. Yeah. How was that, bro?
It was, honestly, it was great. Like a lot of, it was obviously awful whilst you're doing it, but like looking back at it, I think it helped me so much with like the way I'm training, because now I know what my limit is. Like I know, okay, if I'm going and I'm training right now, if I'm training, I know like if I stop a set before actual failure, I'm bullshitting myself.
Yeah.
So it gets you kind of like, you're in a mindset now where you know what your limit is, so you're not going to settle for less. And I think a lot of people go to Diamond Gym and they don't push themselves to that extent. Obviously, everybody's going to look bad when they go there, because the point of Diamond Gym, in my opinion, is really pushing you to that limit so you know what it is. Yeah. So when you go out there and you're not in Diamond Gym, then you know, okay, I'm going to push myself harder because I know what my limit is. So yes, I have nothing but good things to say. Also, the reasons why they're doing it, like Unk, for example, he's a firefighter. So like for him, it's really a matter of like, he can't tell himself like, oh, I'm not going to do this set or I'm not going to pull this weight, because it translates to him saving people, going into burning buildings. So obviously, I'm not going into burning buildings, but when I was training there, like towards the end of that workout, the second time I went, literally I was imagining like, you know, my family's under the bar, I have to lift it. Yeah. I deadlifted 600 pounds. I've never deadlifted before in my life.
Dude, that's like the mother lifting the car off the baby, right? And what I was going to say, 600 pounds is crazy. What I was going to say about the Diamond Gym, and this is why like this is so powerful, right? Is what they do there. It's competition, right? At its core, but it's a collaboration. Yeah. Disguised as competition. That's what it really is. Is that you don't say, oh, like you got to lose in order for me to win. No, bro. I'm going to compete with you to push you, and then you got to compete with me to push me. Yeah. We're just iron sharpens iron, bro. And those are the types of people I like to be around, right? Like Hussein earlier, before we hit the record button, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go hit legs with this guy, right? And right away I was like, yeah, I might have to join you on that, because I'm like, man, if I'm working out with him, that's going to push me to my limit. And I'm going to see the standard. Right? I haven't hit legs in a minute, bro. You know what I mean? But that's the point, is that I want to see myself get sharpened through another person that is setting apart, right? It's the same thing, right? So we can compete with each other, but that's just collaboration disguised as competition. But when you compete for the sake of ill intent, low vibration, like, dude, you got to fail. I want to see you fall, because you know what? I got to make sure that, you know, we're both eating, but my plate has more food. Yeah. Right? When I'm looking at distributing food, I'm making sure that you got more than me, bro. I want to see you win. And as a byproduct of that, I hope that energy comes around. You want to see me win just as much. 100%. I don't like to surround myself with people who aren't like that. That's why I surround myself with this guy. That's why he's my business partner. We started off as a podcast, right? Like, for example, he saw me at Lifetime. I was working out. Yeah. And that morning, he's like, making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's like, ya Allah, I want better podcast guests. And then he pulled out a piece of paper and he wrote down like 3-4 names, and I was one of them. Really? That same day, bro, Hussein, he sees me at the gym and he's like, yo, Shahrez, bro, I love your content, right? I'm like, yo, what's your name? Umer. All right, cool, bro, nice to meet you, man. And then I'm working out. I see him on the way out. I'm like, yo, it was nice to meet you, Umer. I go into the parking lot of the gym and I get this text from him, hey, bro, you want to hop on my podcast? And literally within days, we get on the podcast, and bro, he's so professional. This is why I keep popping on, because he's so professional. He's just one of the best at what he does. And look, now, bro, he has such premium guests on his podcast because he's operating as a very good host. It's the same thing with the identity. You hold the identity of such a good host, you're going to have good guests, right? But it's like that. That's a collaboration, man, right? This is a collaboration. But when I look at you, bro, and I see how fit you've created yourself, I'm like, man, I got to step up, right? When I see him and see how organized his business is, I'm like, man, I got to step up, right? When people see me, for whatever reason they see me, and they feel energy transmutation, they're like, man, I got to step up, right? And that's what competition should be. It should be a collaboration.
100%, yeah. That's the thing. A lot of people think like, there's two ways of seeing it. Either you're like, oh, this guy is lying, or this guy is scamming people, whatever. Or it's like, and again, this goes back to the fake natty thing. A lot of people are like, oh, you're a fake natty. Oh, you haven't achieved this, naturally. When I started training, bro, I would look at everyone and it wouldn't even cross my mind this guy's a fake natty. Like, I would look at David Lade, look at his physique. This is what I want to achieve. And I wouldn't think he's a fake natty, because if I was to think that, bro, I wouldn't have put the effort into my own journey to be able to achieve the results that I have. So I think people that make excuses are not going to get they're never going to achieve their full potential, because they're kind of stopping themselves before they even go out there and try it. So I truly think the reason why I'm here today is because I would look at David Lade, I would look at Lex Little, I would look at all of these people that have what I want and be like, they're natural. They've done it naturally. Even if there wasn't, even if they didn't do it naturally, it wasn't going to help me thinking that they're a fake natty, because it was just going to stop me in my tracks and I wouldn't put the full effort to get the results that I want. So again, if you want to think I'm a fake natty, sure. Obviously, I've done all the testing in the world to be able to prove it that I am. I can go today if you want. Go test me today. I have $500,000 on the line. If anybody wants to test me for a full year, if I fail a single blood test, I'll refund all the testing and give them $500,000 on top of it. Nobody's taking me on the deal. And I've done 4 blood works, like literally randomly throughout the last year to prove that I am. And so yeah, I've done my part. But obviously, I think the best thing is going into something and believing if they've done it, I can do it as well. And that's going to be the first step to actually taking the action to get there.
Wow, that was powerful. Skin in the game. It's kind of like one of my real estate marketing offers when I first started. I was like, yeah, we're going to get you results. Otherwise, I'll refund you and pay you. Right? Because that's just how confident I am to get you results.
Yeah.
You kind of have to do that to be great, man. You have to be so confident that you're willing, like, you know what? Damn, if I really sucked, I'll lose something here.
Yeah.
Because that's going to teach me a lesson.
Yeah,
that's the price you got to pay to win, right?
100%.
And it's so interesting because when we talk about the fake natty stuff, I was telling him before the podcast as well in that room over there. I was like, you know, the interesting thing is the second I seen him, not once in my mind did I think he was a fake natty. Like, because what I understand from fitness, right, is that if you truly, truly, truly follow the process, you track your calories, you do the right workouts, progressive overload. You know how to work out, how to rest, how to eat, how to have the mindset, right? Even to the point where we're going to go into the energy stuff like the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system, right? Dude, you can look like that, but obviously there's a genetic factor, right? I'm sure your genes are exceptional, right? Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, right? However, right, it's like you can achieve that. And that's probably what you teach.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, man, like you just gotta follow it.
Yeah.
And that's why I've gotten the results that I do is because you guys half-ass your life, and that's why you get half-ass results. I don't do that. And that's why I have the results that I have, because I follow the process to a T, and I fell in love with the process, like you said before.
Absolutely. And I think also same thing. I talked about this with Jeff Nippard. He's a guy in the fitness industry. As soon as I started training, I knew everything. Like my brother used to train, my dad used to train, so I had the knowledge. So like there was a big difference between starting to train and taking 3 years to figure it out, and then when you figure it out, putting in effort to be able, like, again, for someone average, maybe 7 years, they could have achieved what I've done in 3. You know what I mean? But because I've had all this knowledge from early, obviously the genetics play a huge role, the equipment that I had, the diet that I followed, I made sure I knew everything before I got started. So when I did start, I didn't have to like figure stuff out. I knew everything. Obviously, I got better over time. But that's why I literally started coaching people after 18 months of training. Like a year and a half of training, I started coaching people and I was getting them great results because I knew what I was doing as soon as I started. And also that helped me with obviously the fake natty accusations. Everybody thought I was a fake natty because of the results I had. So I think the knowledge aspect is extremely important. Obviously as well, the consistency, the diet. But if I didn't know what I knew, maybe it would have taken me 7 years to get where I was after 3. You know what I mean? So that played a huge role as well.
I want to ask you a question, right? This is a very important question because this is what I train my students on as well. And this question is going to resonate with a lot of people watching this. A lot of people want to do what you're doing. They want to do what I'm doing, right? They want to build the businesses. They want the luxury life. They want the financial freedom, and they want to teach people. They want students and mentees of their own, right? And let's go to the teaching people. Let's go to the coaching programs and the consulting and having the mentees. Some people are like, man, like, I don't think I can do that because I don't have the results. I don't think I'm worthy of it. But you said something so powerful there. You've been working out for 18 months and then you started coaching.
Yeah.
But there's people that have been working for 5, 10 years and they still don't think that they're worthy enough to have a student and mentee coaching program, consulting program.
Sure.
What do you tell those people?
I think, like, I used to flip it on people. I used to flip the mindset around. They're like, oh, you only been training for 18 months. Why would I listen to you? It's like, you've seen my content. You've seen my transformation. You're impressed by it. And it's only been 18 months. So why would you listen to someone who got the results in 4 years and not me who got them in 18 months? So for me, I used to flip it around. Like, whatever position I'm in, I would just kind of market it in a sense.
Repositioning.
Exactly. Reposition it to be able to have, advantage on whatever the argument is or whatever the objection is. So for me, it was literally like, oh, I've only been doing this for 18 months and I stumble on your feed. You followed me. You follow my workout plans. You follow my content. You've been getting results. So it means like even more that I've only been doing this for 18 months. So what I would tell people, if you've been doing this for years and you don't believe in the fact you can help people, like, honestly, like there's 2 ways of seeing it. Either you're truly not going as hard as you feel like you should be going. Like that's as well. Like I go through. I've said this multiple times before. If you're depressed or if you feel like you feel bad about maybe what you're doing in life, in my opinion, it's just literally your brain telling you that you're not pushing to the extent, or you're pushing as hard as you feel like you should push, or essentially like you're not living life to the full potential that you truly know you can live life. So if that was the case, if you've been training for 5 years and you don't feel like you could be coaching people, you either aren't pushing as hard as possible, or you just like I don't know, if you've gotten the results, I don't know why you wouldn't believe in yourself, honestly. So maybe they just haven't been pushing as hard as they should.
You know what it is? This is what I tell people, and it goes literally picks off of what you just said. It is an absolute disservice to the gifts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you for you not to help people.
Sure, yeah.
For you to think that you are not in a position to help people, that is a disservice. That is a disservice. Every single day, there is somebody looking for a mentor like you.
Sure.
There is somebody looking to get that help.
Yeah.
And every single day that you delay that, you're letting that person down. And therefore, you're letting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala down. Because Allah is giving you the gifts. You're not making utilization of those gifts.
Yeah.
Right? It's a disservice. And that's what really, really got me going. I was like, man, it's a disservice that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving me these gifts and I'm not utilizing to my maximum potential and helping people. It's a disservice for you not to help even more people. Bro, you're already, Allahumma barak, so successful. But bro, it's a disservice for you to not go even harder, to 20x, 30x, 100x what you're currently doing, because bro, the responsibility and the results that you can help people get, much better than anybody else.
Yeah.
So it's a disservice. You got to go even harder, bro.
That's a good way of seeing it.
Yeah.
Gonna leave the podcast, go work even harder, bro.
But on actually the topic of hard work, I want you guys to walk us through your day-to-day. Because I think, again, very different day-to-days. You are very disorganized in your way. I don't know if you are. But what's your day-to-day as far as managing your business, your team, social media, and what can the younger audience learn from what you're doing? Because maybe it's not perfect, but what is it that they need to do to optimize, like you said, be the best version of themselves?
Sure. I think, well, for me, it's pretty simple, bro. I get up, let's say an ideal day, maybe 80% of the time, that's what I do. I get up, workout, that's first thing in the day. Obviously, have breakfast, whatever. Or I like to just have fruits, quick carbs before my workout. Workout, rest of the day is work. Work for me, as a creator, I think it should always be you in front of the camera, you producing content, and you can almost delegate everything else. I know obviously like you always have to be kind of in the business here and there, but like if you want to be able to scale as much as possible, in my opinion, as a creator, you need to be able to delegate all of your time to making content and producing the best quality content. So I'm in a position now where I have team members, I have, my business is set up in a way where like I have every single aspect, like sales manager set up, setter manager set up, the coaching side. I'm still really involved in the fulfillment on my mentorship, but like that's also, I'm working on it. But like in the end, it's just producing content. So coming up with ideas for content, coming up with YouTube, Instagram ideas, and literally just producing them, filming the videos, filming the content, editing is set up with my team as well. So I'm literally all of the stuff that I could delegate and put that time into making content, I try and do. So my day all around is like either I'm helping clients with in my mentorship because they're going to listen to me more than anybody else. So I do that. And also the second thing is really just producing as much content as possible. Everything else is delegated.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, so you said a very interesting thing in that I would reframe what you said is I don't believe what I do is disorganized. I believe it goes back to that statement, right? It's I don't go with the flow. I am the flow. Right. And how I like to articulate this is how you wake up is how you go to, how you go to sleep is how you wake up. Right. So when I go to sleep, I'm priming my mind for the next day. It's a constant reiteration of who I am and what it is that my purpose is. When I wake up, I don't need a morning routine. I don't need anything. I just step into the character. Right. And when I step into the character, what happens is that character lives by a certain set of beliefs, principles, and ideologies. And one of those ideologies is I focus on what I'm good at. Like my whole business is based off of leverage. I don't have to build anything. I leverage pre-existing systems that people have built. That's why I'll go into a business, I'll hit a JV, I'll take 30, 40% of the business because they already got the system. They already got the infrastructure. Why do I need to build it? I come in with my gifts. And that principle also is you're a man of your word. You deliver what you promise on, right? And you show up with class. You show up with a result-driven approach, right? I don't believe in structure. I believe you quite literally step into the character, you trust Allah, you go along with your day. Like, for example, one day I'll wake up and I'll be like, you know what? For some reason, I got this idea from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I got to go to Miami. The next day, the flight's booked. I'm gone. You know what I mean? I don't have to think too much about it because I'm not operating myself. I'm not operating on my schedule. I'm not operating on my plan. They plan and Allah plans it. Allah is the best of all planners. So every single day I wake up, I'm like, all right, cool. Here's the character. I'm billionaire Shahrez. I'm Shahrez Muslim. That means Shahrez Muslim got to submit and surrender to Allah. Billionaire Shahrez has to make billionaire plays. Super mentor Shahrez has to show up on these mentorship calls and be the best mentor, right? And I am now going to surrender to Allah, these three identities. I'm going to surrender to Allah. And I'm just going to let him guide me through life, okay? I'm not going to take anything too seriously, right? But serious at the same time. Everything in life is a paradox. Everything in life is serious, but it's not that deep at the same time, right? You can be organized, but you don't have to be organized at the same time, right? You focus on your gifts. You talked about this as well, the report card thing. My gift is the impact that I bring. My gift is the way that I see the world. My gift is my intelligence. It's my applied psychology. It's the surrenderance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I come with an energy, alhamdulillah, like I can't even describe it because only Allah knows what that is. And then the people around me feel it, right? And I feel it. It feels good. It feels like it can only be divine. That only comes through surrenderance. When you surrender, all of a sudden something powerful happens. Is that every step you take is divinely guided. Yeah. Somehow, some way, I had guests at the house. And some people might say this is poor etiquette, right? I had guests at the house. Major politicians, by the way, in Canada. At my house. We have ministers at my house. I leave. I'm like, you know what? My family, you guys can handle it. Make sure these guests are taken care of. You guys are going to have an amazing time. For some reason, I'm being called to go to this other place.
Yeah.
Follow. And bro, I met somebody at that place and it became a business deal. I just ran into somebody. Right. And this is what happens is that when you're too rigid with your structure, right? And this is not for everybody, but not everybody can handle this type of life because it's a risky life, right? And for example, not every woman could be married to a guy like that because she got to be a tough woman to be able to trust her man and trust God that this guy is divinely guided. Yeah. Right. I trust him because he trusts Allah, right? But if she doesn't trust Allah, right, then this guy's he's a red flag, dude. He just goes, he's just moving through life like Aikido, right? So that's how it happens. Like for example, even the podcast thing, right? That night, I had no intention to go to the gym. It was not in my schedule, bro. It really wasn't, all right? But I showed up to the gym because something told me I had to go. I remember my mom was telling me that night, she's like, Shahrez, you haven't been getting a lot of sleep. Beta, like, what's going on? Just don't go to the gym. I'm like, nah, ma, I gotta go. Book the Uber, I'm at the gym. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, bro, I like your content. Next thing you know, bro.
That's not how I sound, bro, but okay.
All right, we're here. You know what I mean? Right. And see, this is where we're getting at is that this is called muraqabah. In Islamic terminology, muraqabah is mindfulness and presence. We talked about this earlier. It's the doors. It's the doors of life, right? And when you're so hyper present on what's going on in the moment, you see the doors that present themselves to you. And then you walk through the doors that are for the sake of Allah. And you have to have courage to walk through those doors, right? Now, it doesn't mean that, it's completely out of whack. It doesn't mean that it's completely disorganized. All my mentees calls are, in a calendar. All my business meetings are in a calendar. But I book them as I go. Like, for example, I don't have my phone on me, but if I pull out my phone, you won't see any meetings indefinitely into the future. There's no strict schedule. It's the second I know a meeting's going to happen, boom, it's in the calendar. I'm sticking to that. I'm a man of my word, right? That's the principle. That's the standard. That's what the identity holds. However, the identity is also one who surrenders to Allah. And for the people who don't understand what the term Muslim truly means, the term Muslim means to surrender to Allah. That's it. At its purest form is the one who surrenders to Allah. So what does that mean? That the truest of Muslims are the ones who are in surrenderance. They know that their life isn't theirs. They know. They plan, Allah plans, and Allah is the best of all planners. So why would I even have a plan to begin with? I don't need a plan. Yeah, I have standards. Yeah, I have knowledge. Yeah, I'm going to surrender to Allah because I don't know anything, bro. And I said this in so many podcasts and videos at this point, is that once you realize that you know nothing, you will start to know more. Once you empty your mind, only then can you have the capacity to receive a download from the divine. But if you're constantly racing with thoughts and you're constantly thinking my plan's better, my routine's better, my structure's better, right? It's like what you said. What is the most dangerous form of what?
What the most dangerous form of blindness is thinking that your perspective is the only reality.
Exactly. So I don't want to be blind, bro. I want to know that Allah has all the answers. I'm stupid. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like retard maxing. I have no clue. You know what I mean? I got no plan. All right, but I know that I have a direction. I'm asking Allah to guide me. And if that involves me flying across the world, I'll go across the world. If that involves me staying at home, I'm going to stay at home. If that involves me showing up to the gym at 10 p.m. on a random night and meeting this guy, I'll meet this guy, right? If that involves me leaving politicians and ministers at my house to have dinner with my family, even though they also came to see me, so be it, bro. You know what I mean? I got to go and Allah's going to guide me towards that. I trust my Lord, right? Yeah. And that's a completely different way of living, right? From a lot of people. I actually don't recommend this to a lot of people. Because if you can't truly trust your Lord, don't even bother. Your cortisol's going to spike, right? But because I'm surrendered and I could care less, bro. I've slept on the streets. I don't think you've known this about me. I've been homeless.
Really?
Right? Before I became a millionaire, 14 months before I became a millionaire, I was homeless. I was sleeping on the streets.
Really?
So I went from homeless to millionaire in 14 months, right? But that comes with surrenderance. So I trust Allah. I'm chilling. I'm vibing on the floor, on the concrete floor outside in the cold, and I'm vibing, in a 5-star hotel. I could be anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as I have Allah, I'm completely fine. I'm chilling. I'm vibing. You know what I mean?
Fire. Good way of seeing it. I'm learning a lot, which is good.
Bro, I can't get over the 600-pound deadlift. Like, I'm still stuck over there. But no, so you guys have, you live very different lives, but I think we've been able to break down the fact that the fundamentals of what you guys do are very similar. Sure, the way you do it is very different. You have a different label to it. You have a different way of calling it, but at the end of the day, you're doing things that are larger than you. And it brings me back to one thing I love to say, which is you have to be selfish to be selfless. And you guys were so selfish, you actually put it in a way where you were so aggressive on your mission. But once you achieved whatever it is that you wanted to achieve, it became bigger than you. It became about your mother, it became about your siblings, it became about the greater good, helping other people. Like you said, you actually put it, you said my mission is to make people the best version of themselves. Right? In your case, same thing. I want to show people that if they trust Allah, if they have that tawakkul, if they entrust Him with all of their affairs, then it's a guarantee from your Lord that they don't have to worry about anything. Very different, but essentially the same. But I want to leave the viewers with one question, which I feel like a lot of people get wrong. How do you measure success? Because you have it. You've gained it. So your perspective back to, you're not blind as far as perspective, because when you were getting it, when you were on the way to getting whatever it is that you wanted, your measure of success was money, obviously, like me, like him, like you. But now it's changed, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So how do you measure success?
That's a good question. I would say now measuring success for me is everybody around me taken care of. They don't have to stress about money. They don't have to stress about I need this done. So yes, obviously the monetary aspect comes into play. But I truly think if it comes down to me and how I feel, it's going through life, following your purpose and taking care of the people around you by doing so. So for me, for example, obviously we've talked about doing stuff that you don't want to do, but you still do it because you have to obviously provide, or you have to, make a specific amount of money a month, whatever it is. But for me, success, I don't think I'm there yet, because I'm still obviously doing stuff that goes against maybe my passion or my purpose. And my opinion is really doing what you enjoy doing, and then obviously getting paid for it and being able to take care of the people around you. For me, that's success. If I'm able to follow my passion, help a bunch of people along the way, and at the same time take care of the people that I love, then I'm good.
Wow, it's that simple for you.
Yeah.
No.
But you mentioned purpose as well.
Yeah.
Where do you gain your purpose from?
Well, for me, that's also a really good question. I think I was a lot of the times trying to find my purpose, find what I want to do, and honestly, it's about trying a bunch of things and seeing what fulfills you the most. In my opinion, that's really purpose. So for me, it was really helping a bunch of people. I really feel like my purpose is also taking care of the people that I love. There's nothing really that fulfills me more than being able to take care of my mom and being able to take care of the people around me, but also being on this mission of achieving more. That's also my purpose. I would feel like absolute shit if I was just to sit down and not do anything. So I also feel like my purpose is always going for more, always achieving more, people looking at you and being like, how do you do so much? How do you achieve so much? How are you able to take care of this and this and this and all these things? So also for me, that I feel like is my purpose. But it doesn't come from just like, oh, I'm going to sit down and try to figure out my purpose. It comes down with trying so many things that you're able to compare. Okay, this is what I like doing. This is what I don't feel fulfilled doing. Again, I can brag about like, oh, you know, I'm so straight with my deen and I'm staying away from women. I don't have any lust. But there's nothing, how can I say this?
Of substance?
No, it's like there's nothing impressive about it if you don't compare it to the opposite, which is, oh, I'm not on my deen. Oh, I'm not like, you know, perfect with lust, for example. So I feel like everything is a contrast. Everything, like you're able to feel your purpose when you've been in positions where you haven't been following your purpose. So for me, it's just trying a bunch of things and being able to compare both of them and being like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what fulfills me, and this is what I want to stay away from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you used fulfilled instead of I like how you used fulfilled instead of happiness. Because I feel like we all, like especially young people, they're so focused on being happy, but happiness is an emotion just like anger.
Sure.
Right? So you can be on a happy high, you just bought a new car, you bought a new watch, whatever, but maybe the car, you know, you hit the car.
Sure.
Maybe you lose the watch, right? And then that happiness, that state of happiness you were in, gone.
Exactly.
But fulfillment is consistent, right? If you're getting fulfillment from something, nobody can take that away from you.
Exactly. That's why I feel like I never follow happiness. If I was following happiness, I'd be partying, doing a bunch of crazy things. So in my opinion, I feel like you're obviously, in my opinion, you're always going to be happy when you're fulfilled, but you're not always going to feel fulfilled when you feel happy. So I would always chase fulfillment, chase being proud of myself, because that's what is going to bring a greater good of my actions, like what I'm doing. So like that's why I chase fulfillment. I feel like by definition, by being fulfilled, I'm going to be happy. The opposite isn't always true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way you put it, man.
I really like the way you put that too.
Yeah.
You're a very interesting archetype, and honestly, like it's a dominant archetype, and that's why I said what I said to you is it's a disservice for you not to go harder. Genuinely, like you got to go
And
harder.
I appreciate that.
For sure.
Again, I always go through like life trying to learn more, but I'm rarely like challenged. I'm rarely like, okay, I learned something. I feel like I learned a lot of stuff here. And the way you put it is like you have, and I know for a fact that I'm helping a lot of people by doing what I do. And I do agree now, like now that I'm seeing it that way, it would be a disservice, not only for myself, not only to the people that I'm helping, but also like to God if I'm not going harder. So
Facts.
I appreciate you.
Facts. So for me, success is a worthy realization. All right. It's a realization, of a worthy ideal, right? It's the mother who says that she wants to be a great mother and she acts upon that and she strives towards that. She's successful. It's the man, like Ankh, who says that he wants to be a great fireman. So he takes the actions towards being a great fireman. He asks Allah for the test, the tribulations, the trials to make him that great fireman. And then he acts upon that. And he's grateful to his Lord. And he sees the mercy of his Lord that makes him successful. Success is not a one-size-fits-all formula. We talk about the inner child. That's where the gift lies, right? We remove the superego, and then we're left with the nafs, and then we take that away, then we're left with the ruh, right, which is the spirit, the soul of the individual. That soul has a special gift, right? And I know a very special individual, from a very young age. She was like, I just want to be a mother. She stands on business on that. She just wants to be a mother.
Yeah,
that's it. And that's it. She doesn't care about working or having a career or anything like that. She was true to herself from her inner child. That's what she would write down in school. She'd be like, what's your dream job? I just want to be a mother and a wife. That's totally okay. And the fact that she can work towards that and fulfill that realization of that worthy ideal, that will make her successful. It's me saying, I want to inspire the whole world and change lives and quite literally transform people. I want to show people that they can be, do, or have anything they want. They just have to tap in with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and therefore they tap in with themselves. That's success for me, is how many lives can I change through just showing people who they really are and who their Lord is. For you, success is exactly what you said it is. Because that's who you truly are. It's authenticity as core. And when you're authentic with yourself, and you're not performative, you're not trying to wear a mask, and you're not trying to please anybody else but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the gifts that He's given you, that's when you become a real successful person. Like we talk about you. A lot of people don't know where you came from. I don't know if you're okay with me saying this. Are you okay with me saying it?
A bit.
Okay. So this man comes from a family of billionaires. He never talks about it on the internet. Quite literally never talks about it on the internet. Nobody could have ever imagined that this guy comes from a family of billionaires because of the way he approaches life. Because for him, that's not success. He already seen there, been there, done that growing up. And he realized that money isn't everything. Money's destroyed people. To him, it's the humanitarian causes. And even this podcast is one of them, right? That makes him feel successful. That's all he talks about, is helping people and helping the world and pushing this mission forward. And every time he steps into that role and actually passes the trials and tribulations and becomes that person and sees the fruits of his labor through the mercy of Allah, is when he will feel successful, right? Right? And we all have that inherently. Every single person that's watching this, Hussein's success is not your success, and my success is not your success, and Umer's success is not your success, but it's you define what your success is. But you have to look within. Take away all the labels that you put on yourself. Because everything is a label that we put on ourselves. But look at yourself truly. Who was that kid that was growing up? What was he passionate about? What was she passionate about? Just like that woman who wanted to be the mother and the wife. Society's pushing on her that she got to have a career. Society's pushing on her that she got to be some strong, independent woman. But she's like, nah, like this is literally what I want to be. I'm authentic to my childhood self, and this is what I'm going to push towards.
Yeah.
She probably has her friends be like, oh, like why don't you want a job? Why don't you want a career? And she's like, they won't get it because this is who I am, right? So in reality, that's what success is. You got to know who you are, truly, that inner child. And you got to work towards that because that gift came to you at a young age. When you push that and you're working towards that, it's not a destination, what you said, it's a process. It's that journey that's successful. Every single day, even if you fall off the path, even if shaitan takes you this way and you're like, you know what, I'm going to take it back this way. That's success. Because I'm going to continue following that path and I'm going to work towards that worthy ideal. And you know what? You'll never be a perfect mother. You'll never be a perfect businessman. You'll never be a perfect philosopher, perfect author. Maybe my book that's coming out in a few months will suck. Right? But that's okay. I'm working towards it, bro. Maybe this podcast, didn't start off with the best, but maybe this is not good, right? Maybe the next one will be better, right? But that's just what success is. Every single day he wakes up and he's like, how can I be a better podcast host? Yeah. That's what success is, man. And you can only achieve that through one, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? When you lock in with your Lord, it's very easy to find a path, right? And I guess that's why this podcast is called The Path We Choose, right?
So essentially, that's a really good way of seeing it. So essentially, success is constant action towards your purpose or your goal.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good way of seeing it, honestly. And I would be, again, going back to what you said, the inner child and everything. This is a quick story, and hopefully it inspires a couple people. When I was younger, high school, like here we have like secondary school, so like here 7 to 11 or 12, whatever. I had these goals like, oh, I want to be a footballer. Oh, I want to do this. Constantly, every single year, consistently, a teacher would be like, oh, you're never going to achieve anything in your life. So I kind of stopped believing and stopped dreaming of like, oh, I want to be a footballer. Oh, I want to achieve this. And I really think a lot of people might be in a similar position where it's like they don't even dream anymore. They don't even have purpose. They don't even have goals. And I think the best thing you can do, in my opinion, is going to the gym. Like, again, it's not about muscle. It's not about building the craziest physique. It's just about having a goal, working towards it, and that's success, like we just said. It's like you set a goal and you're constantly every single day going after it, and then you're like, oh, I'm successful in this, and then that identity you apply to everything else. You apply to business, you apply to content if that's what you want to do, regardless of what your goal is and what your passion is, or again, your idea of success is. The gym, in my opinion, is the first stepping stone to be able to put action into something, consistent action towards a goal. And again, like we said before, that's success. So that was my first success, I guess. And that's what translated now into business, into everything that I'm doing, mentoring people. So it's actually funny that you say this because I never really thought about it this much. It's like success is having a goal and consistently taking action towards it. And that's what the gym is. I had that goal consistently every day I was showing up. So I think that was my first success now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. And that's what got me to do what I'm doing now.
You know what I respect about you?
What?
And I was saying this on the way here, is I respect you because you can't just buy a body, man. Yeah. And sometimes people do, but you can't. Like what you built, I respect that.
I appreciate it.
It shows that you set a goal and you work towards it.
And also like again like same thing for business. Obviously like some people have more like better starting positions, but like to build something, same thing. You got to work hard. You got to put effort into it, and it's the same thing as like that's why I say like if your goal is to be successful, the gym is the best thing to do because again you can't buy it. You have to put in effort to be able to get there, and that's the first. For most people, the first action of discipline, first action of delayed gratification. So, yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah.
No, I appreciate you.
That was great, guys. You've opened my eyes. He does 600 pounds on the deadlift.
Still on this. He's still on the 600, bro.
Guys, wait. For the people who don't lift, because there's gonna be a lot of people who are watching this podcast from my audience as well.
Yeah.
How many plates is that, dude?
There was chains on it. The bar was 66 pounds. I think it's like 5 plates and a quarter.
Oh my god.
That's 4 of me. That's 4 of me. Forget the plates. It's 4 of me. Deadlifted 4 of me. Anyways, no, you guys have. I mean, that was amazing. It was a masterclass on success, on lust, on business, on just being young people who have money but aren't driven by money. And it's so different than what we consume nowadays, right? Because every reel we watch, every YouTube video you open is the thumbnail will always be how to be rich in 60 days, how to become a millionaire overnight, right? But nothing we've spoken about was a get rich quick scheme. It was a put in the work, put in the reps, and eventually you get there. You trust God, you have the right values, right? And I think both of you should appreciate your parents a bit more because your values are from your parents. And you brought up the mother thing. We are the 3 men we are today sitting on this table because of our mothers, because of the values she instilled in us.
100%.
So that's something for the viewers as well. Respect your mothers.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
But the thing is, again, everybody is attracted by quick money. My videos that do the best is like how to build biceps fast, or like how I grew my biceps fast. Like I put this in every single thing because that's what attracts people. And like, again, it doesn't matter the way you get them. It's just like you get them and then you're able to teach them the proper way of doing it. And again, keep in mind, if someone is consuming that content, most likely they haven't achieved it yet. And if they haven't achieved it yet, they probably don't have this, delayed gratification mindset. So the best way to get them is like how to be rich fast.
Speak their language.
Exactly. Speak their language. Peak on their pain points. They don't want to wait. They don't want to. That's what, again, in the fitness industry, you see a lot of people doing steroids now because they don't want to wait. So again, I use this in my content to attract the people and then deliver the proper message. So I'm probably going to clip this up and say like how I became a millionaire fast, whatever it is. But then as soon as they come in,
watch it and they realize and they actually go through your system, they know it's not.
Exactly.
It's not as simple as it sounds.
But it's a lot faster than not doing anything.
Yeah, be willing to do the work. Honestly, one thing is even with my mentorship, right? It's like it's an inner circle, right? I have students that work with me very closely. I don't take on everybody. I'll reject them right on the spot. Like quite literally be like, no, you're not qualified. I can't even think about having you in my mentorship.
Yeah.
Right? You got to be willing to put in the work. You got to really be willing to put in the work. You got to come to the calls and do the homework and apply these things. Respect my time, but most importantly, respect your time and respect the gifts.
Yeah.
Right? It's really not an overnight thing, right? It takes a commitment. The thing is a lot of people, and this is coming from the nerd that I am and reading all the books that I read and whatnot. I kind of stopped reading a lot of books because I realized, like I told you, is the more you realize you don't know anything is when you start to know more. I just accepted the fact that I'll never know everything. And now it's crazy. I don't read as many books, but I keep getting smarter and smarter and smarter. And that's because that knowledge isn't even coming from the books. It's coming from God, right? And interestingly enough, you have to be able to surrender to the process to be able to be successful. You have to. You have to know that you know nothing in order to be successful. You can't show up to Hussein's call for his mentorship and his coaching program and be like, well, I know this. No, bro, you don't know nothing. That's why you don't have it. Like Allah is giving you a door to walk through so that you can finally have it. He's gotten the downloads and the cognitions and he's going to transfer it to you, but you have to surrender because a mind that's occupied, a computer that's RAM is full, can't take on more data and it can't take action. It can't execute a task, right? So you got to surrender. And that's what it means to have a mentor. You come into my mentorship, you got to realize that you have to surrender because I'm surrendered to God.
Yeah.
When they come into your mentorship, you got to surrender, right? Because you have already done it and you have the case studies and the proof to make sure that other people can do it too.
Yeah.
But if they're gonna come on with their ego, then bro, go kick rocks. You're not gonna be successful, man. Like, that's the truth.
100%. That's one thing I do as well. Like again, if I try to like frame it in a sense of like they have to tell me why they're worth being in the mentorship. So absolutely, bro. Like there's nothing worse than trying to show someone who thinks they know where to go. Like again, it's exactly like you said. You have to think. That's when I learned the most. I go into situations, I meet new people, and I don't know anything. Obviously, if they ask me questions, I'm going to give them what I think. But like if I'm in a position to learn, I don't do anything. I just shut up and listen. And that's how I'm able. That's honestly the main thing that I feel like got me this successful. I never had a big ego of like, oh, I know everything. Because obviously I don't. If I knew everything, I would have the results of it. And when I started, I didn't have anything. So I was literally just trying to learn. And I think that's why I was able to be this successful. And that's why I'll learn even more down the road.
Proof's in the pudding, bro. Remember what he said? I know it's going a little bit. Proof's in the pudding. Remember what he said is that he was just growing up around these teachers and these uncles, and you said your father was in the gym as well. So all these people, you could have easily been the kid who was rebellious and be like, I don't want to learn from them. I want to create my own path. But you just absorbed it like a sponge.
Yeah.
You're just, observing. And that's what happens when you empty your mind. You can quite literally see reality for what it is, and you can get the new data points, right? So when you have a mentor in front of you, listen, genuinely listen, because he's teaching you the exact process that he went through himself so that you can be successful too. To be honest, he could just really F off with his mills and just chill, drive his McLaren and live a good life at 23, man. Really, like, what's stopping me from, doing the same? But it's because we quite literally want to make those ripple effects in the world and create more success in the world and impact overall that we do what we do. So don't come on to our calls or watch these videos and disrespect our time because Allah brought you here for a reason, right? We didn't have to do this. Tomorrow I can just stop. I'll be chilling. I'll be vibing. My personal brand has literally nothing to do with my income.
Yeah.
Right. My businesses will do well regardless. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah at least. But alhamdulillah, they're doing well. Right. Before the personal brand, after the personal brand. Right. And at this point, it's the same with you, right, bro? You probably have enough cash in the bank. You throw your investments here and there, bro. You be chilling. You be vibing.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
But it's a disservice for us not to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's a disservice for each and every single person watching this podcast to not tap into those gifts and live up to your potential. It quite literally is.
100%. Again, the way I see it now, exactly like you said, I didn't think about it this way before. Like, it would be a disservice not to do because obviously I know the path. I've helped so many people. Before I just used to see it would be a disservice to God to give up and not keep chasing more. That's how I was seeing it before. Now you kind of flip my mindset. But also like when I hop on calls with people and they have these objections, I don't do the sales calls anymore. Obviously I focus a lot more on people inside the mentorship. But when they hop on and they have these objections, the way I see it, and I recommend this to every single coach that wants to start, coaching people. When you have objections in front of you, it would be a disservice to the person in front of you to let them go without actually taking action on what they're on the call for a reason. They're there to learn. They're there to change their life. So if they have an objection, it's your job as a coach, before you even have them into your mentorship or into your program, to lead them towards what they want to achieve. So again, like, it's a mindset flip. A lot of people are like, I don't want to, handle objections. It's going to be, I don't know, like it's going to be cringe or they're not going to like me. But like if they hopped on a call with you, uncomfortable. Exactly. It's going to be uncomfortable to, handle these objections, but it's your job as their coach before they even join your program or before they even started learning from you to lead them where they're trying to go. So that's how I see it. It's just a mindset flip. I'm not trying to like make a sale. It's my job to help you get to where you're trying to go. So, and then you can handle whatever it is that they have. Yeah.
I want to add one more thing. I know you're looking at me. I always do this to him, bro. I always do this to him. But what you said, it actually, I'm going to literally stack on top of that. Mm-hmm. If you're on a call with somebody, right, and you're on that call for a reason, like you said, you're on that call for a reason. Like, for example, somebody's on a call with me, you're on that call for a reason.
Yeah.
Take the action. Not from the place that you are. Take the action from the place that you want to be, the person that you want to be. The millionaire version of yourself, bro, would not give an absolute crap about a $10K payment to make their life better. They wouldn't care. It's $10,000. The other side of that, there's only bliss if you put in the action, right? People who pay attention. The investments that you make, I've spent. At this point, I believe maybe over $500,000 on mentorships at this point, right? It's because I realize that people who pay attention. If I don't pay for it, I've not done
That's
the energetic transfer to quite literally take it seriously.
100%, yeah.
Right? That's literally what it is. And I make the investment from not who I am, from the person I want to be. If I'm hiring a mentor, it's because I want to be where that person's at. And therefore, I have to make the investment that that person would make.
Absolutely.
Right? So when people get on calls with me, I'm like, bro, like if you really think that's a lot of money, you're not ready for this, bro. Because if you want to be that person, that person won't even think twice. If you really want to be a fitness coach and you want to charge high ticket, you would not care about the piff that he's asking you for. You just wouldn't care because you know that there's a transformation on the other side. There's a cost for not taking action. Quite literally. There is a cost for not taking action. Just stay where you're at then. You're not willing to invest in yourself, then just stay where you're at. Go kick rocks, seriously. And I say that with all due respect to people.
100%.
Right?
I agree. And like you said, people who pay attention. When I started this, I invested $10,000 into a mentorship. I didn't even have the money. It was a school loan that I was using to go to university.
Wow.
I took that money, invested into the mentorship, and I was like, bro, I need to make this happen. There's no way I can go through it and not apply. Even if it doesn't work, I have to apply it. So I applied it. I made $12,000 in my first 2 weeks. And going back to what you said, people that pay attention, everybody would ask me like, oh, why don't you teach that for free? Why don't you teach people like how to make money online for free? I've done so. I have videos out there who teach people the system, exactly what I've done to be able to get to that position. Why is, let's say they have like a few 100,000 views, all of these videos. Why isn't it a few 100,000 people that have made millions? Because they didn't pay attention. Instead of like, oh, they're seeing a free piece of content. Oh, you know what? Like if I were to charge $5 for that piece of content, the same one, they would apply the stuff that I'm teaching them. But because they haven't paid, they're like, I'll just go watch Naruto instead, or I'll go watch One Piece instead. So yes, I do agree. When you pay for something, you take it more seriously. So that's why I feel like, again, the reason why the mentorship works so well is because people that join invested a big amount and they have to follow exactly what it is. And also there's obviously additional support, calls, everything, additional content that they don't have access to, additional information. But the main thing is because they have skin in the game, they have to make it happen now. So yes, I do agree.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing you can do is show up. That's what it is, right? Just showing up on a daily basis, putting in the work is the hardest thing you do. But also, based on what you said, that's a very big thing that you just said, by the way, that you took out a loan for school and you used that for your own business.
Yeah.
And it was a matter of having to make it work.
Yeah.
You had no other choice. Otherwise, you go on into more debt.
And yeah, and also like I didn't want to go to school. Worst case, I don't go to school, which is, again, that's also something. I put a story yesterday. It was like, take the risk. Worst case, you learn. Best case, you change your life, completely. And my thing is like a lot of people are like, oh, if I take the risk, I might lose everything. What is there to lose other than the life that you don't enjoy already? Like that's the thing. If you don't like your life currently, what is there to lose other than that life that you absolutely hate? You take the risk. Worst case, you go back exactly to where you're at, which is a life you fucking hate. So like, might as well take the risk. Best case scenario, you learn. And I'll tell you right now, if you put in effort, you're definitely going to achieve the life that you want. That's for sure. But like worst case, you go back exactly to where you're at, which is where you don't want to be.
Exactly. I really like that. I respect that, bro. Taking out a loan. It's like me. Like I delivered food on my bike. I was homeless. Like, I had no choice. Like, bro, you gotta do it at any cost. And that's it. This is the thing, is that Tawakkul is courage, right? And for the people who don't know what Tawakkul means, is trust in Allah. It's trust in God. It's trust in your creator, right? Tawakkul is courage, man. At its core. And then it took me a while to figure this out. This was a download from Allah, bro. I used to say, Tawakkul is faith, Tawakkul is this, Tawakkul is that. No, bro. Tawakkul at its core. If you're really going to open it up and dissect it, you're like, whoa. Tawakkul at its core is courage. That's it. Because in reality, if you truly had faith in God, you knew you couldn't fail. So you're gonna have the courage to take the actions you need to take in order to be successful, right? I see that in you. From what you said, I see that in myself. I see that in you. And for all the people who are about to be extremely successful from watch this, I see it in you guys too. You've summoned up the courage. Now don't let the devil get into your ear and tell you otherwise. Take action right now. Quite literally, whatever it is, take one step towards your goal. And just like a car in the nighttime with its headlights on, you don't see that much ahead, but as you drive forward and take some action, you'll see further, right? And that's what Tawakkul is, right?
That's way of putting it. Yeah. My whole thing again, like, there's nothing to lose if you're not living a life that you want already. So like that's my way of seeing it. Like it's not a risk, really, if you think about it. Like, what am I risking? A life that I don't like? Sure, I'll take the risk. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Exactly.
Thank you, boys.